bone mass and bone disease called osteoporosis. If you're 65 or older, Medicare provides free bone density tests every 2 years. Ask your doctor to schedule yours. For more information on how to be bone strong, visit pathtogoodbonehealth.org.
Hey, Joe, I thought you were retired.
Living on a fixed income is tough. So here I am, an essential worker.
I know. I mean, food prices are going up every day. Thank goodness for benefitscheckup.org.
Benefits what?
Benefitscheckup.org. It's a free website where people over 60 can find help to pay for food, medicine, even utilities. I got $1,200 a year in benefits. Maybe it can help you.
Imagine a disease that affects more than 10 million Americans. More than AIDS, Parkinson's, ALS, MS, and muscular dystrophy combined. Yet few know its name. Some years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And after surgery, she developed lymphedema, LE, a cruel and chronic disease affecting 10 million Americans that occurs when the lymphatic system is compromised, leaving one with a lifetime of severe swelling and pain. What we found out later is its severity might have been lessened, or possibly even prevented, if only we were better informed. That's why I'm urging anyone facing cancer treatment to get educated. Talk to your doctor. Make it part of your cancer conversation. And if you have LE, share your story. With patients and doctors working together, we can learn and live. Learn more at lymphaticnetwork.org.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. It's time to get up and get your day started. Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker! It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome in on this Thursday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you. The Thursday, May 30th, 2024 edition to be exact, the opening day of Italian Fest. We are broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Summer is here. It's time to party. They got all types of great deals. I mean, on everything at Family Leisure. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the first hour of the program is brought to you by the great folks at the Big Green Egg. Currently 67 degrees, very nice outside. It will warm up to 83 today. Mostly sunshine, a little bit of clouds, a stray shower or thunderstorm is possible, but only about a 15% chance. Lower humidity, should be a very nice day. Tonight we're looking at 66 for a low, mainly clear skies. And then for your Friday, a little bit of sun. The rain possibilities start to build up towards the end of the day into the overnight hours into the weekend. But it is what it is. Coming up on the program today, in just a few moments, we'll have our final Showboats Showcase. We'll talk with one of their quarterbacks, Josh Love, who has been getting more playing time the last few weeks because of injuries. But Josh Love's a guy who's very interesting. Came from the Michigan Panthers. He had a really good year with the Panthers. He's out of San Jose State University and just seemed to get better and better as his college career moved along. He's been in a couple of NFL camps. We'll talk to him about his future. Josh Love at 7:10. At 8:25, we'll talk Major League Baseball with Kerry Miller. There's a lot to get into with Kerry on Major League Baseball, including the meltdown yesterday of Mets reliever Jorge Lopez. And then at 9:05, we talk Memphis Tigers football with Brian Moss the publisher of Tiger Sports Report, part of the Rivals and Yahoo networks. We'll get his breakdown on all the latest portal acquisitions by Ryan Silverfield. So all the ones that have happened since spring football, which is a little bit more than I thought it would be, and the quality of players look to be pretty darn good. So we'll get Brian's thoughts on that. We'll take your calls and your texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. Obviously, plenty of Memphis Tiger basketball news with David Jones staying in the NBA draft. Late last night, the signing of Daniel Vieira Tuck, the kid from Portugal via Texas. We'll see what Penny wants to do as far as a couple of other openings that he still has on his roster. Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, the renovations have finally begun. And also, we got news from the NBA on a bunch of coaching fronts and the Scottie Scheffler news, which I think everybody and their mother expected. All charges, including a felony charge, dropped against Scottie Scheffler. Good morning, Eli. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
Scottie Scheffler, that was so in the bag, it's not even funny. That one, we all got right, so I'll pat everybody on their back because nobody believed that thing would go to court, let alone trial. But the other one, I could say that I was on this pretty well, and there was no inside information whatsoever. This was just looking at everything from afar, that David Jones was not coming back to Memphis. His age, everything involved in, people looked at it and said, well, he had a bad combine, so he'll come back and he'll go to Memphis, and then there's people out there like with ludicrous numbers are thrown out there, like the guy's going to make $1 million. No, not the case. I don't know what they were able to offer as they went to the wee hours last night before the deadline trying to convince him to change his mind. That wasn't happening. Whether or not he has a guarantee as far as being a two-way guy, I don't see him getting drafted. Now, I always thought he was a second-round draft pick, but everything that you've read would tell you he's not. But who am I to say, oh, you made the wrong move? David Jones had a great year. He had a breakout year last year. There's a lot of things he has to get better at. That's his decision only.
Yeah, I mean, any one of these, they can do what they want. They can choose what's best for them, and maybe David Jones, if it doesn't work out in the NBA, will go overseas and make money over there, wherever he wants to. If he wants to, go pro and start his professional career, that's great for him. Good luck to him. Hope it does work out in the NBA and he gets a great opportunity to make a whole bunch of money and have a long career. It is what it is. It's certainly, disappointing for Tiger fans that were hoping he would be back. Penny Hardaway is the one that said he thought it was 70-30 he was coming back. So he created a lot of hope amongst Tiger fans that he would be back. But it is what it is at this point, and now they move forward, and they, whether they look in the portal and try and get somebody else, which I would assume, when you officially lose a guy like David Jones, you'd like to go find some sort of replacement. I don't know that you could look at the current roster and be happy and say, all right, we're ready to go for next year. So we'll see what they're able to do as far as new additions possibly out of the portal as a quote-unquote replacement for David Jones for the future.
Well, we'll talk a lot more about this, the ramifications, the repercussions. Certainly, David Jones was not the guy going into last season that everybody was looking at. It was Jordan Brown. It was Javon Quinterly. To a certain extent, it was Jaquan Walton. David Jones was kind of this throw-in that started at DePaul, went to St. John's, was pretty good, was playing for the Dominican Republic national team, and then he blossomed. Now, is Memphis better off without him? No, of course they're not. They're not better off without him. But it doesn't mean that it's all gloom and doom. And as you said, we'll see what Penny wants to do. He still has some roster spots. They did fill one yesterday, and we'll talk about him a little bit later on. We did yesterday when Parthu Pajai joined us. But Daniel Vieira Tuck, who, as far as I know, did not take an official visit, is signed, a 6'4" point guard who's out of Portugal via Texas. But he's not the guy people are looking at as a savior. He's not going to replace David Jones. There are a number of guys that yesterday decided to go back to college. Some to the school they were at. Others have jumped in the portal. There are some quality players that were already in the portal, still in the portal, that hadn't signed with a team, with a school. And now there's more from yesterday. And we'll go over some of those players. So we'll see if that's the direction that Penny goes in. Losing David Jones, you lose a shooter, a scorer, a good rebounder, and a really good wing player. So what direction do they go in? We don't know. We don't know how good this team is just looking at it on paper, how good are the parts, and then how good is the sum. It's anybody's guess. Last year, I would have bet money at the beginning of the season that they were an NCAA tournament team, and they ended up not being one. So it doesn't mean that just because it doesn't look as strong on paper that they can't be really good. But right now, I would think there's a little bit of a deficiency in certain areas. So we'll see where it goes. But again, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna give you a chance to comment on it as well a little bit later on in the show. Before we bring on Josh Love from the Memphis Showboats, the Scotty Scheffler news yesterday. Again, if you missed it, all charges dropped, including a felony charge. Look, this is simple. And I remember the officer, the arresting officer said, you're going to jail. And he did go to jail. But nobody in their right mind thought that this thing was going to go to trial, let alone, was it dragged out? A little bit. But this was, to me, this was simple. This is the mayor of Louisville and Commissioner Jay Monahan. I'm sure that conversation took place. Valhalla has hosted U.S. Opens and PGA Championships. And I'm sure that I can't speak for certain, but that Jay Monahan kind of urged on the mayor a little bit, about the future. Let's get this thing cleared up. The mayor knew it was a black eye for the city. And again, I'm not saying that the officer didn't do anything, he didn't do anything illegal. He's an officer, for goodness sakes. But was he overzealous? Yes. The guy also has a track record. That shouldn't mean anything as far as this incident. But you knew it was going in this direction, Eli. It's just for Louisville, for the city, for the future of golf, major golf in Louisville, I'm sure Monahan was like, yeah, mayor, take care of it. And the mayor took care of it. That's my feeling.
I just generally, like the rich and famous, like stuff like this gets dropped. The video that came out yesterday with Scotty Scheffler in the police car afterwards continued to add to the idea that, again, it was a lot of confusion and miscommunication. Scotty Scheffler did some things wrong and even admitted in that situation, saying, I didn't know if it was a cop or security. And the cop says, well, who cares if it's cop or security? They're telling you to stop your car. You should stop your car. And he's like, yeah, but I think there just was a lot of confusion, miscommunication. He didn't understand what he was being told one thing, then another thing. So he made mistakes. The officer probably made a couple of mistakes as well. And we all move along. It's not a big deal.
All right, Sunday, the Memphis Showboats will play their final game of the year. It's been a rough year. There's no question about it. They'll be playing for the first overall draft pick in the 25 draft as opposed to playing for first place. So I know there's disappointment, among the fan base, but really among the players themselves and among the team, and that's the most important thing. They know that, early on it started out well with the win in Game 1, and then unfortunately that second game debacle in the end where they gave it up and just never recovered from that point on. We've seen a number of players get their opportunities, and a guy like Josh Love, who's joining us here in a second, who had a splendid year with Michigan, with the Panthers, comes into Memphis basically as the third-string quarterback and is now finally getting some opportunities to play and is doing pretty darn well. Josh Love is a former San Jose State standout quarterback. You can follow him on Twitter, although he doesn't tweet much, at Josh12Love, and Josh joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Thank you, Josh. We appreciate you joining us.
How's it going? Glad to be here.
It's going well. It's been a wacky year, to say the least. On the field, what has happened with the team. But you personally, I'm looking back at your resume, and it's so impressive, the numbers that you had at Michigan, the way you built your quarterbacking at San Jose State from a walk-on to a scholarship, from coming off the bench to being a starter and putting up huge numbers out west. And now here at Memphis, you come in basically as the third-string quarterback, and now you're getting these opportunities to showcase what you can do. So what has it been like for you?
It's been good. I mean, I've learned a lot this season, especially from Coach Flip, and have some great teammates that I've built special relationships with. But yeah, I came in the last week of camp, and honestly, I didn't really have any reps, so just kept preparing like a starter, and would run the scout team a little bit here and there. I actually played a lot of scout team receiver to help the defense get a look. But it wasn't until late in the season when Troy played where I finally got some scout team reps, and then last couple weeks I finally got some actual quarterback reps in the game. So been trying to take advantage of those and just prepared each and every week like I was a starter, and it helped me when I get out there.
So that's the thing you're saying. You're talking about playing receiver on scout team. So what is life like, for the third string quarterback through the season?
Because in pro football, the first string quarterback usually takes all the reps. The second string quarterback will take the scout team, and then the third string quarterback really doesn't do much at practice other than maybe throw a couple routes to guys. Or, just really just paying it. You have to pay attention, and you have to be in the back there behind the starter, just working on your footwork on your own. And that's what I did, and that really helped me prepare for when I finally got the reps, that, I was locked in and knew what I was doing and knew how to operate the offense. But it's really like just staying locked in, staying in the moment, and not getting too distracted with the current situation. But just ultimately knowing, like, what, I'm gonna work really hard. I'm gonna prepare, and when I get my shot, I'm gonna take advantage of it.
So how difficult is that then? To obviously, you without throwing to him, like to have some chemistry with this group of receivers and kind of be on the same page.
That's really probably the toughest part. Mentally to know what you're doing and to study and to know the offense is honestly probably the easier part. But to go in and because the throws are limited, and we don't do too much routes in practice because we want to save these guys' legs, and the numbers are very small in this league compared to the NFL. We don't have practice squad players like that. The rosters are really small, so guys are some of the starters are running the scout team. That's just how it is in this league. That's how it's been, and to save those reps, the routes for these guys' legs, it's very limited with what you can do during practice. So, after practice, before practice, on the off days, I try to grab anybody I can. I have a couple guys that have been really, really good to me, gain some extra reps, extra throws in. Even some of the staff, strength staff, anybody I can grab just to get extra throws up, that's what I've had to do.
Well, you had to knock the rust off when you finally get back into a game, and now you've had some chances here in the recent weeks to go out there and compete. So how does it feel going out there and playing? And I don't know what the game plan is for Sunday. I hope we get a chance to see you again. But what was it like to finally get the rust off and get out there and start competing again?
Oh, it felt great. I think that it just really goes into the preparation, like we've been talking about. Because when you prepare like that, you go into the game and you just let it all go and let it cut it loose. So, it's all in the preparation, and continue to prepare like a starter and get those mental reps and get those physical reps, throwing the ball whenever you can and putting extra work in. And, when you get that chance, just go cut it loose and make it happen.
And just by coincidence, it so happens that you get into a game at Michigan where you played last year.
Yeah.
So what was the conversation between you and some of those guys that I'm sure you're friendly with on the defense over there?
Oh, it was so much fun. I know a lot of those guys, and pretty much, their whole defense was, majority of the guys were with me last year. And I remember going in the huddle the the first snap I was about to take, I looked over at Breland Speaks. I said, "Hey man, if you hit me today, just help me up." And he just gave you a smile. And those guys are awesome. That defense, all those guys over there, Coach Nolan. It's a lot of fun.
Breland Speaks is not a fun guy to look at for a quarterback when he's on the other side. He's much better when he's on your team.
I don't know how he's not in the NFL, to be honest.
Exactly. I'm with you. Josh Love is joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. Okay, we know the two leagues coming together, meaning that a lot of talented players don't have jobs and did not have jobs this season. The best of the best were the ones that survived. I would imagine the coming together of the two leagues, the USFL and the XFL. But also, and we talk a lot about it in sports, the mental part of the game, not just the physical part of the game, but the mental part of the game. So you go from putting up some big numbers at Michigan to sitting here, as you said, last week, picked up by the showboats. You're behind a couple of quarterbacks. How have you handled it mentally? It seems like you have it all down as far as that's concerned, but that's got to be a little shocking at first. You go, wait a minute, I'm the starting quarterback putting up big numbers one year, and the next year I'm sitting there as the third string.
I mean, that just shows how competitive the league is, and I'm blessed to have the opportunity to come in and get an opportunity to play. But I mean, you look at our quarterback room, all three of us, Case, Troy, and I mean, we were all starters last year.
Wow.
So that just shows how competitive this league is, and limited opportunities. A lot of guys didn't get the opportunity, so definitely wanted to take advantage of it. And like I said, like the mental preparation goes a long way. And I think that I've gone through battles, I've gone through competitions before in the past, and I think that has really helped me, with the position I've been in this season. Just to keep my head down and keep working, and not worry about the future, but where I'm at right now and how much I can get better in that particular day.
We'll close strong for this season. We want to wish you nothing but the best for your future. Josh, thank you so much for joining us.
No, I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Take care. Josh Love, is he expected to be the starter on Sunday?
I don't know for sure yet. Part of it, I think, will. I think he'll play regardless. I don't know where the other guys are, where Case Cookus is health-wise in his recovery. Not sure where Williams is, but I wouldn't be surprised if Love ends up getting the start. But I think regardless, he will get an opportunity to play even if he is not starting. And that was the plan last week, and he ended up coming in and then played the rest of the game. So I would assume that at the very least, he will have the opportunity to play even if he does not make the start. But I would guess there's a decent chance that he will have an opportunity to start this final game of the season. I do have some tickets for Sunday night's game, final game of the season. It's the Houston Roughnecks. It is a 6 o'clock start on Sunday night, so a Sunday night primetime game on Fox. And if you want 4 tickets to the game for Sunday night, then all you got to do is be caller number 2. Caller number 2 at 360-8255. 360-8255, the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line. Caller number 2 will get 4 tickets for Sunday night's game between the Showboats and the Roughnecks to end the final game of the season for the Showboats.
I know they're playing for the first overall pick in the draft next year, but I'd be certainly using this game as an experiment. Guys that haven't played as much, I would definitely see what they have to offer. So, yes, whether or not he starts, they better play the guy. You got to get a better look at the guy. He put up numbers at Michigan. I know Cookus is the guy, although Cook has spent most of the season on his rear end. They got to address the offensive line. It was horrendous. But as far as the quarterbacks are concerned, you got to look at all these guys, not just quarterbacks, guys that haven't played as much. And who knows what the game plan is from Coach Flip, but that seems like it's sound strategy to find out what you got going into the off season.
We do have our winner, by the way, for the tickets for the Showboats. But it's an interesting life for again, as he said, you got such limited rosters that you're the third string quarterback. You're playing receiver on the scout team. Like it's
I
just,
know
that's just the way it
blew
is.
my
Like,
mind when he
it's
said
just,
that.
there's just not many guys there, so you just gotta fill in where you can to try and help out. I mean, it's that's the reality of the UFL when you got a 50-man roster. You're gonna be put in places and doing things that you probably didn't expect in your professional football career.
Off the top of my head, as I was looking at his resume yesterday, I think he had something like 3,600, 3,800 in his senior year passing yardage for San Jose State. The guy just like kept going, moving up. He wasn't drafted. He was in a couple of NFL camps. He was on one practice squad for a while. And like we talked about with him, at Michigan, he put up great numbers. And then all of a sudden, he doesn't have a job a week before the season starts. And he ends up being the third string quarterback on a team that's got one win. And he's now had his opportunity to play at least a little bit the last few weeks, and we'll see what happens on Sunday. I'm wishing him well. Josh Love, Showboat's quarterback. Shoot 360 Memphis, from preps to pros. This place is about as cool as you'll ever see as far as shooting basketball, learning how to play the game better, competing, challenging yourself, and doing so with the modern analytics to really break down your shooting, plus the staff that can help you better your game. So parents and grandparents and coaches out there, again, this is really the place to go. You can go outside in the backyard and do that stuff. I understand it. But if you want to get the instruction that you need, the proper instruction, the proper guidance, and learn from the best, but also through modern technology and analytics, this is the place for you. It's the same system that stars like Steph Curry use. That's not BS. That's true. It's a revolutionary training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with expert coaching to improve shooting skills. The facility is equipped with advanced shooting machines that provide real-time feedback on shooting accuracy and arc and depth. And really, it is a lot about the arc and the depth of the shot. Players can track their progress and analyze their performance. They've been in Collierville now for a while. This news yesterday, which was news to me when I found out, this is great. It's good and it's bad. They're building the brand new state-of-the-art facility in Cordova. It was going to open on June 1st. They've had some issues with getting everything they need there, so flooring and everything they're still waiting for. So July 1st is the new date to open up this new facility in Cordova. It's going to be fantastic. But here's the good news. The Collierville location will remain open. It'll be a little bit smaller, but they will keep it open, not just for the next month. They're keeping it open. So now you'll have your choices of going there and getting a membership in Collierville or getting a membership in Cordova. And again, for all you basketball players out there, this is how you become a better shooter and a better all-around player. So give them a call at 901-316-5500. Sign up for your membership today, 901-316-5500. Stop by their location, their current location that's open in Collierville, or go to Shoot 360 Memphis to sign up. Shoot 360 Memphis, where the preps and the pros go to get their shot on. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. I've got Jason, the main man Marshall here, and he's ready to start something big at Goffin Volkswagen on the pike. What's up, Jason?
Randy, I've got 42 MPG on the highway on the all-new 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance Team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning repair team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning, T-Dot. Those help trucks around here with a couple of disabled vehicles now. It has increased with a little bit more volume southbound over here on Austin P Highway, getting up on that ramp there to I-40 as you work your way 51 in from Millington down through Woodstock. That's been in pretty good shape. Finally starting to move around over here on 40 East across the Hernando de Soto Bridge as that traffic builds coming in from West Memphis. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. Make it Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:30 is the time. Hour number one here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd. We appreciate Josh Love from the Memphis Showboats joining us. All right, let's get back to the major topic at hand, and that is the news from yesterday. Yesterday was the deadline for players to stay in the NBA draft or go back to school. We had a number of players making the decision to go back, including the likes of Alex Caravan, which shocked me. I think he was penciled in as a first-round pick. He's going back to UConn, which bodes well for Dan Hurley's team, maybe going back-to-back-to-back. John L. Davis, I don't think that was a surprise, the former Florida Atlantic stud. He's at Arkansas with John Calipari. Interesting player, Arthur Kaluma, Kansas State. He's in the portal. Not saying that's a Memphis target, but I remember Naquan Tomlin. A lot of names, very interesting. Some, again, who were penciled in as possibly first-round picks going back to school. Others decided to stay in the draft. We knew Bronny James from 2 days ago. But yesterday it was all about the waiting, right? As Tom Petty once said, the waiting is the hardest part for Memphis Tigers fans to find out what was going to happen with the all-AAC first-team performer David Jones. And I said all along, again, my gut feeling was he was gone. And I never wavered from that. But you lose a 21.8 points per game and 7.6 rebounds per game performer. 38% shooter from three. That's a big loss. So if Penny truly did believe what he said, that it was a 70% chance, the odds were obviously in the favor of him coming back in Penny's mind. That did not happen. So now, what do you do? Parth was on with us yesterday, Parth Upadhyay from the Daily Memphian. We said, well, the money that was going to be allocated to David Jones now, is that going to be available to go after other players? I would assume it would. Now, yesterday, I think it was just coincidental that on the same day of Jones comes the news about Daniel Vieira Tuck. he is not the type of player we're talking about. At least I don't believe so from everything I've read. He's a nice addition, but more than likely a backup point guard. So I don't think he's demanding that type of money. So I would think that Penny is going to go after a player or two to fill the roster. Doesn't necessarily have to use all the scholarships. I think he has 3 left, maybe only 2 now. But whatever the case may be, I look at this team. I don't think it's complete right now, and we'll see what happens. But David Jones, there was the news, first of all, that he was staying in the draft. Then there was the news that came out that it's not over yet, that Penny and Memphis is still trying to persuade him, and maybe that was true, maybe it wasn't true. But the ludicrous numbers that people were throwing out. I know that there's now the $5 million per year for the next, is it 5 years from FedEx or 4 years?
I believe 5.
Okay. And that's good. That's really, really good. It doesn't mean that they're going to, dump the bulk of it on one athlete. I thought it was crazy. Now, maybe I am naive. Maybe I'm out of touch. But at Memphis, David Jones, $1 million? No way. Because I'm telling you this. If they offered him $1 million, he was coming back. So I don't think it was even close to that. Did it get to $500,000? Maybe. What is the estimate, Eli, that if you are a two-way guy, it'll be about $500,000?
It's like, I don't know what the rookie minimum, they haven't really said it, whatever the rookie minimum is for next year, it's half of that.
Okay. So, again, as we talked about to start the show, who are we to say what he should do? He's 22? He's not 18. He's not 19. He's 20. I think he's 22, right? Zach, 22 for David Jones. If you could double check his age, that'd be another year, be 23. How much more improvement are we going to see? Because everybody saw what he could do offensively, and then he goes to the combine and doesn't perform as strong. Would it be a difference next year that he would all of a sudden, one more year under his belt, become this electric defender and great ball handler at the combine? Not the combine, but, would he do that at the combine next year? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so, though. So his thought is, I want to start my professional career right now. Now, does he have a guarantee to be a two-way guy? I don't think so, but it wouldn't shock me. I've said all along I thought he was a second-round pick. Anybody who could shoot the three that well and can rebound that well for his size, to me, says there's things you could work with. You just have to work on him as a better defender. He's not going to be the greatest ball handler, but you know what? He probably won't have to handle the ball wherever he goes to play professionally, whatever league that may be, as he did at Memphis. He seemed to have the ball a lot in his hands. Now, hopefully, he can come off a screen, catch and shoot, and do things like that. So I think there's a lot to work with. It's like clay that can be molded. So it makes sense to me. I've always thought it makes sense to me at his age to strike while the iron's hot. The guy, offensively, how are you going to top that? I mean, average basically 22 points per game. How about if he goes in there next season and drops to 16 a game? And his percentages go down and he shoots 32% from three. So I don't know. But as far as the impact on Memphis, it's huge because they depended on Jones. Penny depended on Jones, and he depended a lot on Quinterly. And Quinterly at times would come through. I mean, he saved them 2 or 3 different games, hitting a three to win it. People forget that. But he also had some games where he was just not himself, and it led to, it wasn't all on his shoulders, but it led to defeats. He's gone. His eligibility's used up. Jones, the hope was to come back. That's obviously the hope of Penny. It doesn't happen. So now you got all new guys, with the exception of Jourdain, and a team, again, to me, on paper, doesn't look like, it looks like a competitive team. It looks like a team that could very well be battling for the American Conference Championship. I expect them to, but I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and go, that's absolutely a NCAA team, or that's absolutely a second weekend NCAA team. Dane Danger, I think he's got a lot of talent. He was a backup last year at Illinois. We know Moussa Cisse can play some defense, but is a liability offensively. Can Tyrese Hunter step up and become the stud that he was at Iowa State, and then he was kind of flattened out at Texas? Can all of a sudden he become that guy? Can Kobe Rogers shoot the rock like he did from the outside at Wichita State? Haggerty, he seems like he's got a bullet, the trajectory, moving up to become a star, certainly in the American. Will that continue? There's a lot of questions, but the biggest question for me is, will Penny now use what they had allocated for David Jones and maybe what they had offered on anybody else that's left in this portal? And there is still talent left in this portal.
Yeah, again, I would assume that they want to still add to the roster. I mean, certainly that's a... If Penny truly thought that there was a 70% chance that David Jones was going to be back, like, that's a massive hole that you now have to fill. Like, you were planning on having David Jones, and you don't. So you don't have your best player. You don't have one of the best players from the conference last year. I mean, a guy that had the Tigers been better probably would have been the conference player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a big hole to fill, and who amongst the guys in the portal they could get, again, how much money they have to offer these guys, who knows? That is to be determined, and it's but yeah, I would certainly think they will be active in trying to get another guy or two out of the portal.
I assume the money that FedEx is giving them is already there for the first year. They may even have used some with football, I would think, right? Because this isn't one of those deals like the stadium, like the $25 million gift from the Smith family, where they have to match it. This is not a match. Memphis is hoping to do it for their own sake, to match. And then all of a sudden you got $10 million a year to be able to use.
Well, they already had, some NIL money.
Right. I'm not even counting that. I'm just talking about from FedEx.
They started with, from what I understand, the basketball NIL was pretty darn good. Not football was not, but basketball NIL budget was pretty good. And now, yes, who knows how all the FedEx money is being allocated from football, basketball, women's basketball, whatever, all this other stuff. I don't know how that's being allocated, but I would guess there's a pretty decent pot for basketball NIL, since they already started with a pretty decent pot.
Even though we don't know what all the rules and regulations are going to be in the future, as Greg Sankey said the other day at the SEC spring meetings, that he hopes Congress takes the bull by the horns and kind of sets out uniform rules for everybody to play with, as opposed to having different rules for each state and the schools that coincide with that particular state. So we don't know how it's going to work. But the best guess from the people who are in the know is that we're going to have revenue sharing and that schools can directly pay their players. Now, will the players be getting checks and have to pay taxes and no, that nobody wants to go in that direction, especially the athlete.
Well, it'll be taxed.
Well,
it's income.
Yeah, but it's not going to be paid employees. It's not going to be under the umbrella of paid employees. That's what I meant. But the point is that it will be direct from the school once all the smoke is cleared and everything is put into place, right? Schools will directly deal with those players, okay? Right now, technically, it's collectives. Not the coaches, not the schools, the collectives. But the collectives are working in accordance to their rules and regulations, but in association with the schools, right? So in other words, I wonder how that works behind closed doors. When they are offering David Jones, and again, David Jones is a kind of a weird deal because he's a foreign player and you could circumvent certain things. I don't know. I would love to know the particulars of this, but how does that happen? They have a basketball-only collective at the University of Memphis. They have another collective, obviously, that does other sports, football included. But do they go right to David Jones? How do they deal with the coach? Does the coach get involved at all? Does the coach have to stand in the background? Because technically, they're not supposed to be able to do anything directly. They will in the future. So I'm always amazed thinking about how that works. I would love to be able to find that out or be a part of that and just see, oh, wow, that's okay. But again, in the future, it's going to be a lot simpler. School's going to be able to do it. But again, the numbers that were thrown out there yesterday, and you probably saw those numbers, there's no way I would be so surprised. Now, do I think other schools have offered $1 million or more? Yeah. We're looking at this Rashada suit and Nico at Tennessee, what was said that he was able to get, and who knows what's true, what's not true, but I would imagine that some of those schools with that type of money probably can do that. But even with the money and the extra money for NIL use, which is supposed to be spread across the board with football, men's basketball, and all women's sports, I don't know if you're talking about a big lump sum of $1 million or more for the one player, David Jones. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think if he got $1 million offer, he stays. Wouldn't you guess that?
I have no idea. Again, he may just want to start a professional basketball
What's
career.
your best educated guess if he got offered that, which I don't think it was probably even close to that. Maybe half of that.
Okay. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not David Jones.
I know.
Some
I'm
guys
asking
just
you for
want
an educated guess.
Some guys just.
Part.
But I don't. Why educated guess? It doesn't matter. Like, he's gone. He is starting his professional career. What they
Aren't
could
you
offer,
the one that always says it's always about money? It's always about money.
Yes.
It's always about money.
Yes, it is.
Well, if you can get $1 million,
but he might think he can make more as a professional. It might be. He just might think that I'm getting it started now to get. Even if I'm a two-way guy, I'm going to earn a regular contract by the end of the year. I'm going to make more money by being a professional. I'll go overseas. I don't know. And I have no idea what they could offer him.
Well, he's certainly betting on himself. There's no question he's betting on himself. But my guess would be that whatever it was available is a lot less than what people believe it is.
Again, I don't like if Quinterly was making the $400,000 last year. Like people, again, I don't know. I have no reason to believe it or not believe it. I don't know. Like, it's just rumors out there. But if they could pay him $400,000, then I'm sure they could pay David Jones $1 million. I don't know. Like, I have no idea what they have. Again, I don't know how the FedEx money is being allocated. How much of that is going to basketball? If basketball already had a good budget and they're getting a good chunk of the FedEx money, they should have a lot of money to throw in. But I have no idea what that is. I don't like it. It's all guessing. We don't have any official numbers on what their budget is as far as and we don't know what the other guys are making. We don't know what any of the other guys coming in, even if you knew what the total budget was. Mm-hmm. We don't know what any of these guys are making, the Haggertys and Hunters, like, what were they given? We have no idea as far as that is concerned. So what would be left for David Jones? Who knows? Well,
I'll
at the end, he decided that professional basketball was the way he wanted to go.
Well, I'll be curious to see. And again, Penny may feel, we didn't get David, but I love my team. He may say that, or he may think that. I'm not sure if he's going to publicly say that right now. But I would guess, my best educated guess is that he's going to go after a player, maybe two, that's left in the portal or that has gone back to college and is undecided on where they're going to go. Like, you had a center yesterday. I hope I pronounced this correctly. Ugana Onyenso, who had committed to Kentucky and now will go in the portal. Well, maybe he just follows Cal over to Arkansas. I don't know their relationship. But, these are the types of guys. Caravan's going back to UConn. I mentioned this earlier. John L. Davis is going to Arkansas. Kaluma is a very interesting player that's in the portal. I mean, does he already have his mind set that it's going to be a certain school, or maybe it's a decision between a couple schools? I don't know. But these are the type of players that you would think would demand a lot of money from NIL. So I'll be interested to see if Penny gets involved with any of these guys. But just looking again, yesterday, Daniel Vieira Tuck is a promising young point guard out of Portugal via Texas. But nobody believes that this guy is going to replace David Jones. So I think it just happened to have news on the same day. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. In the meantime...
Do we even know if he actually is committed? Or is this just more miscommunication?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought he was coming to town and he wasn't, so...
That's true. I don't know.
I can only go... sure he's actually committed?
I can only go on the reports. And, it's the same reports that everybody reads. Jason Munns obviously does a great job. Parthu Pajai does a great job. There's other sources that are out there. But, yeah, none of it has come through the school. So who knows? Yeah, I mean, nothing's 100% until I guess the school releases all that information.
That might have been news to Penny. Oh wait, you what? You did what?
Yes, sight unseen. The guy never came to school.
I don't get
to the school.
The guy thought he was coming to visit, and he wasn't. So I don't know. Like, I guess I assume he actually is committed, but.
And in the meantime,
who knows if Penny knew that?
Yeah, you're right. And in the meantime, salute to Big Dog, Malcolm Dandridge. Good luck. I hope you find something in your chosen field, professional basketball at some level or not. I've always liked Malco. I hated how it ended. I'm sure he did as well. One of the biggest mysteries, there's where's Hoffa's buried, who actually killed JFK, and what the hell's going on with the academic thing with Malcolm Dandridge. The three biggest mysteries in the history of the world.
I guess technically you do, but I like him declaring for the draft. Like, I don't like.
Yeah, I didn't get that. But saying goodbye and all that.
There's not another option. Like, you don't get to come back. So I don't. But I mean, I guess.
Do you have to officially declare for the NBA draft to be drafted?
Yeah, I mean, I think you technically have to put your name in there. Like,
I guess that's why.
In this draft, but
right.
Because you could wait and be in the next draft or whatever. But I mean, once your college eligibility is done, you're going to be in the draft that year. You're not going to wait 4 years and go, all right, now I'm ready for the draft.
The way this has gone over since COVID, the way this has gone, like, I would have been shocked if yesterday he went on Instagram or whatever and said, yep, they found another year of eligibility and I'm coming back. I mean, it's just crazy. Oh, speaking of coming back, Matthew Morrell is coming back to Ole Miss for his 5th year. The Memphian.
He's got the ability to use it.
When are we done with the COVID year? Is this the final year for the COVID year? Please tell me.
Yeah, because the 21 season was the last
24,
one.
25's got to be in. All right.
This hour of our program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Go to biggreenegg.com. Get all the information you need to know about the best grill there is. You can get all the details of the different sizes, all the accessories, everything that you can do with that Big Green Egg. And let me tell you, it's pretty much everything. It's whether you're going smoking some ribs for hours at a low temperature, need to get it up to 700 degrees to sear a steak. Maybe you want to make a pizza or bake a cake. You can do that all on the Big Green Egg. And it is absolutely delicious stuff, and it is so easy to use. It's absolutely amazing. Like, there's all kinds of videos and forums and things online, too, to let you know how to use it, different recipes on different foods that you could try on the Big Green Egg. Again, biggreenegg.com, or you can find them at the Ace Hardware stores around town. You can also find them at Hamilton Fireplace. They are dealers here in Memphis for the Big Green Egg.
I guarantee now Ole Miss will be preseason top 25 under Chris Beard. When we come back, possibly another revenue stream for schools and for conferences. We'll talk about that. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
In all the wrong places, try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall pool bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. And in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
It's time to get to Gossett Kia on the bike so Bobby J can put you in your new Kia today. Want summer fun and 41 MPG? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $34.99 due signing. How about 282 miles of EPA estimated range with new 2023 Kia EV6 Win? $249 a month. Get extra room and extra fun with 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $357 a month. No $39.99 due signing. All 24-month lease plus 0% APR for 48 months. Available on the all-new Kia EV9. And peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Incentives price excludes 695 PF. Lease includes PF 695, 650 acquisition fee, ED 6561 0964, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG 510 849, MSRP 38305, Forte LXS RE 78169, MSRP 21820, plus finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Now,
Any thoughts on the Memphis basketball situation? You could hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines. Text in your thoughts at 901-360-8255.
Reggie texted and asked about the status of Coleman Hawkins, Dane Danger's teammate at Illinois. So would he be a good fit?
Yes.
He'd be a good fit anywhere.
Yes.
He's a 6'10" guy who can shoot it and do a lot of things. Certainly, who knows what it is. I don't know what his relationship is with Danger, if they had a good relationship or not, and who's all in on Coleman Hawkins. I assume just about everybody is, but he's a guy that certainly will probably require a decent amount of money to get for somebody.
He's going to absolutely require a lot of money. He's a very, very talented player. And like I said, I like the Kaluma guy from Kansas State as well. And there's several others. We talked about Brazil still being available, the former Arkansas Razorback. So yesterday, and this is not signed, sealed, delivered, but the NCAA to consider a proposal allowing schools to put sponsor logos on the fields and perhaps patches on the jerseys. So I would think that, like an NBA team, and not every NBA team has a sponsor, that if you're the individual school, it's not going to be shared with the conference, that you're going to be able to bring in that revenue for yourself, correct?
Yep.
So who knows if there's an opportunity there for Memphis. Every little bit, or a lot of bit, depending on how much, helps.
Absolutely. I mean, whatever they can do to raise money, they need that money, and they're only needing more and more and more as it goes along. So, I mean, to me, I don't know, like the lack of like stadium naming rights around college sports, those types of things, has always been weird to me that more schools don't take advantage of that.
Right. I mean, hell, if the NCAA or who's ever involved in the decision making, they have a Snoop Dogg Bowl, they certainly can have schools and their own individual sponsors on the field and on patches. I would think so. Who knows with the NCAA, the power that they have, but this is their decision, and we'll find out, I guess, sooner than later if they'll allow that to happen. That could be something very beneficial to schools, especially those that are struggling financially. The SEC spring meetings, as I mentioned, still ongoing in Destin, Florida. Today, they're going to announce a lot of start times for the first few weeks of the season. Brett McMurphy did tweet out some start times involving other games, not just SEC games, including August 31st with Penn State and West Virginia. They all kick off at noon. These are all Eastern Standard Time times here. Fox Network will carry that one. On September 7th, Arkansas at Oklahoma State, noon on ABC. Then Baylor at Utah. Mississippi State at Arizona State, 10:30 Eastern Time, so 9:30 Central on ESPN on September 7th. Ole Miss will play at Wake Forest on September 14th, 6:30 Eastern. That'll be on the CW. UCF at TCU at 7:30 on Fox. And then he's got one during Thanksgiving weekend, Oklahoma State at Colorado. That's way in the future. A noon Eastern kickoff on ABC. But again, the SEC will announce, I think, the first 3 weeks of the season, starting times, later today.
Yeah, they usually do the first 3 weeks.
And then after that, it's 2 weeks in advance? We find out?
2 weeks, unless they've got the option to wait to go 1 week on certain, if they want to, for a certain amount of times throughout the year.
When we come back, hour number 2, Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, the renovations have begun. We'll talk about that. Also, plenty from the NBA, including a lot of coaching news. And tonight, can Minnesota stave off elimination again? We'll talk about the Minnesota-Dallas Western Conference Final. Your calls and texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. Then Major League Baseball talk with Kerry Miller at 8:25. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
A full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com. Or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from the local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Total membership is just $48 a month.
Once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowes.com/MyLowe's today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowes.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowes.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
Anticipation is building for Memphis football. 3, 2, 1, that's your winner! With a cast of returning stars ready for the big stage. The momentum for Memphis football is on the rise. Breaking into the end zone. Tiger touchdown. He's got nothing denied. It's time to Memphis. So purchase your tickets today at GoTigersGo.com.
I've got Rock and Ronnie Smith on the line and Gossett. Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat on the fight. Ronnie, it's the season for the Memorial Day sales again.
It's time to rock, Randy, in your new 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4-wheel drive. $25,889 or $389 a month. That's $5,206 off MSRP. How about a 2024 Dodge Hornet GT all-wheel drive? Packing up to 268 horsepower, plus 295 pound-feet of torque. 32,320. Plus power up in our 2023 Dodge Charger SXT 4-door. $28,072. That's over $9,000 off MSRP.
So try to pass the rest and come to the best at Gossett. Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat along the pipe or online anytime. GossettMotorcars.net.
This traffic report brought to you by Appliance Liquidators with low prices and top-notch customer service. Appliance Liquidators, 3320 Goodman Road East in South Haven.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Just a couple of minor problems out here. It's been quiet. A lot of folks are off this week. Traffic still moving down I-40 right now as we look at it live on 40 westbound from 269 coming in from Fayette County into Shelby County on I-40 westbound all the way to Sycamore View Road. 385 starting to crank up just a bit here at Riverdale as you continue inbound on Bill Morris Parkway towards 240. Weimer's Jewelry 7525 Highway 64, your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah. Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:02 the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Thursday, May 30th, 2024 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy. Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road. That is just north of I-40. Currently, it is 69 degrees. It will get up to 84 today. Mostly sunny. A little bit of clouds. Possibility of a stray shower. About 15% chance. Then tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 66 degrees. Second hour of the program brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers, your family's jeweler. Located in the heart of East Memphis at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick. On the web at gaddisjewelers.com. You want to go to a jeweler that, number one, has a history, is experienced, and you know people that have bought jewelry from that particular place and have done so repeatedly. In other words, they get a lot of repeat customers. That's what James Gaddis Jewelers is all about. You'll feel like family. They'll treat you like family. They're full-service jewelers with 2 bench jewelers ready to serve you. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified. They know there's a lot of competition, certainly is, and they have a price point to suit everyone's budget. So whether it be that beautiful engagement ring, wedding ring, personally designed wedding sets, or any of the other fine jewelry, watches of all types, gemstones of all types as well, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry, custom-made jewelry. They could take an old family heirloom and give it that modern look. They could do all kinds of great stuff with jewelry. That's what they do. They've been in business for a long, long time. Head on over to James Gaddis Jewelers. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com.
Speaking of Poplar, one of the guys who withdrew from the NBA draft who's in the portal that I would love to have here is Wooga Poplar. We got to get more Woogas.
So the fans are going,
we need more Woogas in the world. But with a last name like Poplar, I feel like you fit at Memphis.
Yes.
Like, I mean, there's got to be. I mean, it's the street that runs through the entire darn city. Like, if you're named Poplar, you belong in Memphis.
What type of player is he? What position?
I have no idea. I just like when your name.
You just
is
like
Wooga,
the name.
With
a name like Wooga, it's got to be good.
He sounds like the type of guy that could get the streets of Poplar fixed.
maybe get lanes widened. Maybe
yeah.
He's running for mayor.
Bring him in. We'll get the city of Memphis to give him an NIL. Like we'll get it straight away.
Is there a song like Ooga Ooga?
Ooga Chukka. Ooga.
Yeah,
Ooga.
see, he could be Wooga 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 Wooga.
Well, as long as he's not a Chukka.
Yeah, that's
we don't need a George Costanza.
I mean, he hits a big 3. They hit that song in FedEx Forum. The place is going crazy. Wooga chants everywhere.
You should be in marketing.
I mean, goodness gracious, this is just.
You need to tell Jeff Crane this.
Then after the win, he's running down Poplar Avenue. I mean, it makes
sense.
It's just all there. It's quite simple. So,
yeah.
Hey, Penny, go get Wooga.
Yeah, that's hooked on a feeling by Blue Suede.
Yeah,
that's right.
Give me some Wooga.
Redone by B.J. Thomas.
Need more Wooga. I need more Wooga in my life.
You know, we were talking about some of the players that opted to go back to school. Alex Caravan. We were talking with DeMichael Cole just yesterday, and I brought up his name. One of the great shooters coming out of school. No, he's not coming out of school. He's going back, which tells me that he got a lot of money NIL-wise. When you're the 2-time defending national champions. Their collectives, the NIL money for basketball up there, because they don't give a damn about football, must be out of this world for Caravan to come back because Caravan was projected as a first rounder, which is hard to believe. Back in the day, I mean, if you were projected as the first rounder, your coach in college told you, get the hell out of here. Go in the draft. Now it's like, I don't know, go back to school in this day and age of NIL. But they have to be giving him a pretty penny. He is a great shooter, one of the top shooters in the country. UConn, they've added more. They bring back players, going for a three-peat. Nuts.
Well, I mean, this is the way of college sports now that you have the ability to compete with the pros. So, yes, I mean, there's going to be a lot of kids. I mean, there are a lot of kids that enjoy the college experience and want to take full advantage of and will be happy to be in college as long as they can. And now, giving them the opportunity to make a lot of money, and it may not be what they could make in the pros for that year, but it's good money and they like college, enjoy it, all that. Heck, why not? I'm happy being here, and I mean, it's when you look at some of these guys, certainly in years past, there's no way in hell they would have came back to college for that extra year. But nowadays, if 500,000, whatever, I mean, that's good money. And so you're like, hey, this is cool. Yes, I'll be happy to stay in college for another year, make some money, and then start my professional career.
Yeah, you hear so many stories about when they leave and become professional, how they missed being in school, the camaraderie of the play. And of course, they got camaraderie, I would imagine, at the next level as well, but it's a profession. This was a whole different world, I would imagine, for them to enjoy playing basketball, playing with friends. The school part of it, some certainly wanted to get their degrees and liked going to class and the whole thing that goes with school. But now it's online classes. I don't know how many times these guys even actually go into a class anymore. It's a different ballgame. But, yeah, your point is well taken. Even more so now with the chance to make money and make good money while still playing a sport at that level before you decide to go and become a professional, whatever level that may be, if you have the talents to do so, where it's a job. I mean, it's a whole different ballgame when you become a professional.
Some people like the college experience. Other people don't want. Like, other people are trying to get out. Like, they want to get out of it as soon as they can. They just don't. They don't want to go to school. They don't want the college experience. I mean, everybody's a little bit different.
Oh, there'd be a number of players that would bypass it if there wasn't the rule in place.
But given the opportunity for some of these kids to stay in college for an extra year and give them that money, and some of these guys they're not going to be NBA players. So they're like, well, if I'm going to end up overseas playing basketball, like, I'm in no rush to get over there. I'll take advantage of my full eligibility, and given the extra year of eligibility that these guys have gotten because of COVID, all that stuff, get a fifth year. Good on them. Good luck to you, and certainly have fun.
And some will be working at Enterprise.
They will. Most are.
How many? What do they say?
Most of them go pro in something other than sports.
Exactly. So yesterday, a video dropped from the University of Memphis. Our friend, interim AD Jeff Crane. And again, this week he wasn't able to join us on Tuesday. I'm hoping he'll be able to join us tomorrow with his schedule. He's been running around. But yesterday, officially announcing that, yes, it is finally underway. Renovations at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. So, once again, what is going on? During these next 3 months, you're talking about the moving from the west side to the east side, the game ops, the coaches' boxes, the press box. I don't know exactly how they're going to do it, what it's going to entail, but that is going to be done during the summer months, and that's expected to be completed by the start of the football season. But then phase 2 will get underway right away. And that means
wrecking balls
and Miley
demolition.
Cyrus.
We get to start doing demolition. We get to knock stuff down.
Yep, and all the fans will be on the east side. There will be nobody on the west side, correct?
No, I think there'll be some on the west side.
So I was going from Dylan's story, Jonah Dillon's story yesterday.
I mean, not like...
Not completely, but
I mean,
more the end zones and stuff like that.
I can't remember where the exact cutoff is, but it's not like they're all on just that half. Like it wraps around a little bit on the ends. And it comes into a certain, I can't remember what the sections are. I don't know the section numbers and all that stuff.
But the capacity obviously will be down. It'll be limited. And that will happen for both 2024 and 2025 with the hope, knock on wood, that everything is completed for the start of the 2026 season. So it will not only affect the University of Memphis for a couple years, it will affect the other events. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl game, Southern Heritage Classic, and the return of the Showboats next spring.
Yeah, and I, quite frankly, I hadn't really thought about it until when I watched the video yesterday, I kind of put it all together. And I don't know where they are in the hiring of the new AD and where Jeff stands within that possibility. But with doing a huge stadium renovation project, it is very appropriate to have an AD with the last name Crane to oversee that.
Look, I'm rooting for Jeff.
There will be a lot of cranes out there.
Yes, there will.
So why not have one actually overseeing the entire project?
The ultimate Crane, Jeff Crane. Yeah, I'm rooting for Jeff. I don't know which direction they're going to go in. I would imagine that by the end of next month, possibly a little earlier, there will be a new AD in place. Because they're probably getting close to the interview segment. If they haven't started that already, I don't know. I don't have any of the details. But I'm guessing by the end of June, they will have somebody in place. And I'm rooting for Jeff. I think Jeff is a great ambassador for the school. You hear him every week on our show. Very intelligent guy. Has his finger on the pulse of everything that's going on. And I'm not saying that there can't be anybody from the outside coming in that certainly can't do a great job, because there are many very viable candidates. But when you know somebody and you're close to somebody and you know they can do the job, you're rooting for that person.
Yeah, obviously. Jeff's been good to us, so certainly wish him the best. I don't what direction they want to go. Whether, if you're obviously in somebody on the inside, if you're happy with the way things are going and he's got the relationships, all that stuff, you could say, listen, it's just better off to not mess with anything and keep a good thing going. But in today's world, with all of the changes, everything else going on, and what people, you may also say, listen, we just want somebody with maybe some fresh ideas, some different viewpoints to come in and see if they can make things even better with new ideas in trying to raise the money and all the things that the challenges there are of trying to keep up in the world of college athletics today. Because again, when you're talking about that revenue sharing coming in, I mean, it's just more money that you have to try and find somewhere to stay competitive with the Power Four conferences.
Yeah, you have to think outside the box and then some. NBA news yesterday, first of all, from the coaching ranks. As expected, Tyronn Lue gets a new deal with the Clippers, but he gets a long-term contract. The report is 5 years at nearly $70 million. The deal will make him one of the highest paid coaches in the league. That's a lot of coin for a coach. And we know how these coaches are, how vulnerable these coaches are. But Tyronn Lue has done a nice job with the Clippers. I guess they plan on running things back with some tweaks. But Steve Ballmer likes his guy. I know the Lakers were interested in him, but Tyronn Lue is staying with the other team in Los Angeles.
Good for Tyronn. That's a lot of money. And a lot of security. But Steve Ballmer's got money.
Yeah, a little bit different ownership in Steve Ballmer than it was with Donald Sterling. By the way, when does that start? The clip show on, is it Max or HBO? Whatever it is, about the Clippers? Remember we had the Showtime Lakers, which was a great series? Now they got one coming up about the Clippers.
Did not know that.
Yes. Zach, see if you can find out when that starts.
What is it called? The low time?
No, I think it's called it might be called the Clip Show. But Sterling You know, the actor playing Sterling, I've seen the clips. I mean, it's great. I can't wait to watch that one. Because as much drama as there was with the Lakers, there's also that drama with the Clippers. But, you know, Ty Lue's a good coach, and he's going to be paid handsomely. Also, go ahead.
It's called Clipped.
Clipped, okay. And it starts when?
That it's supposed to be sometime this year. I don't know.
No, it's soon. It's like it might even be this weekend. If you find out, let me know. I'm just curious myself. Also, the Washington Wizards have made it official. They have taken the interim tag off of head coach Brian Keefe. So Brian Keefe becomes the full-time coach of the Washington Wizards. So that would mean that next year at this time there will be another opening in Washington.
Good luck to Brian Keefe. I mean, that is a job that. But hey, you're one of 30. You are one of 30. But
I'm old school. Brian Keefe was great on Family Affair.
That
back
is
in the late
not
60s.
not a job that most people would wish upon their enemy.
There is also some reports that J.J. Redick will not only get the Lakers job, but he's already building his staff. I don't know how true that is, but that's out there in Rumorville. Also that Rajon Rondo will join the staff.
Yeah, there was Borrego was one of the guys. There was some veteran names on there, like guys who have been. There was Borrego, and there was one other that had been a head coach.
Atkinson?
Yeah,
Kenny Atkinson?
I think it was Atkinson. Yeah, Atkinson and Borrego. I think both as possible, I guess, staff members.
All right, tonight, game number 5. Minnesota, Dallas, in Minneapolis. The Timberwolves winning in Dallas in game 4. Staving off elimination, staying alive, as John Travolta once said. Can they get it done tonight at home, where, again, the home court is not exactly automatic anymore? And if they do, forcing a Game 6 in Dallas. I know that Zach and I, the other day, agreed that we think it's over tonight. Right, Zach?
Yes.
What about you? I don't know if you ever said.
I think Minnesota stays alive.
So force a Game 6.
I think they'll get it back to Dallas.
See, I wonder if they can get it back to Dallas with the momentum built of winning 2 straight. Again, we're talking about history here. Teams are 0-155. NBA best-of-7 series down by 3, 0-3. So you would have to buck a lot of history to be able to do that. But if you win again tonight, 2 straight games, seemingly have figured out what they need to do, I just think Luka plays, again, it's weird to say this, the guy had a triple-double, but he didn't play like he did the first 3 games, and Kyrie Irving was off the mark a little bit. I think those two take over, and they once again become the best tandem, because the tandem of Kat and Anthony Edwards was the best tandem of those two in Game 4. I think Luka and Kyrie take over in Game 5. And another thing is Derek Lively. Derek Lively is questionable. I think that's the status with the neck injury. So we'll see if we get him. He has been a difference maker in this series for Dallas.
Obviously, Kat will determine a lot of it. If he can knock down shots like he did last game, got a great chance. If he plays like he did, shoots like he did the first 3 games, they will lose. It's pretty simple because he was just absolutely awful in those first 3 games. But certainly he's got to stay out of foul trouble as well. But I think on their home floor, Minnesota gets it done. And this goes to, again, down 3-0, you go, nobody ever wins this. But once you win the 4th game on the road, you kind of look at this, go, all right, there's a path. Like, we only have to win one more time in their building. That's all we got. Like, so
right.
You go home, we get a win. Now we just got to go back to their building. We've got the momentum in the series. The pressure's now on them because they don't want to go to a Game 7 on the road. So now maybe they feel the pressure a little bit in that game. So you kind of see the path. Now, granted, again, last year Boston was able to get it to the 7th game on their home floor, and then they lost that one. So you have to be able to win those home games as well, even if you do win the road games. But they're certainly, like, just if you look at it game by game, if you win Game 4 on the road, it's not like this insane thing to think, okay, just win a couple of home games and find a way to win one more in their building.
Well, it's interesting with Boston. They haven't lost too much in the playoffs, yet when they lose, they seem to lose at home. And remember, they're on this long break. So you could look at it two ways. Minnesota and Dallas, if they continue this series beyond tonight, they're playing, preparing, practicing, then going out there and banging on each other while Boston's relaxing. So you can look at it like, well, Boston has the advantage because they're off. You could also look at it and say, well, Boston's going to probably grow some rust because they haven't played and will not have played in a long time. That's one, man, where I look at it and go, I like teams that play all the way up to that next round or that next playoff game in the NFL or whatever the case may be, baseball, rather than having sat around. So I would jump all over, and probably will, Minnesota, if they make the miraculous comeback and win the series, or obviously Dallas, who should win the series, to win game one in Boston. Probably win the series, too. I mean, Boston has had too many times where they have just looked lethargic. Now, do they step it up? They step up their game, knowing that they're right there?
I mean, they've lost 2 games in the postseason.
I know, but they've looked lethargic and losing, and they also were outplayed 3 out of 4 games against the Indiana Pacers by the Pacers, 2 of those games without Tyrese Halliburton. Come on, you can admit that. They also didn't have to play Donovan Mitchell. They've lucked out they didn't play Jimmy Butler. I mean, they've gotten some luck as well. Now they get Porzingis back. I think they should win. They should win, but I just don't know, man. And and we'll talk about it when we get close to that, and when we get to that series, about how important it will be for Jason Tatum to finally get it done.
Sunrise, when you're talking about breakfast, no better place in town than Sunrise. With the 2 locations, they've got the original Sunrise on Jefferson Avenue. They got Sunrise East on Poplar Avenue in East Memphis. Both places serving up great breakfast, those biscuit sandwiches with their house-made biscuits, those big old square biscuits that they pile with, sausage, egg, and cheese, or bacon, egg, and cheese, or you could do the fried bologna, egg, and cheese, which I love so much. They've got all kinds of options there. They got their breakfast bowls, the kitchen sink, which is always a great option, which is just a little bit of everything seemingly on that breakfast menu. Plus, for lunch, they got great sandwiches and salads. The French dip is my favorite. Bacon cheeseburger, absolutely outstanding. Other sandwiches and salads that you could choose from on that lunch menu as well at either one of the Sunrise locations. You can go to sunrise901.com. That's the website. You can check out the menu, and you can order online for either location, and they make it very easy. When you order online for pickup, you drive on in there, you go in kind of basically the back door, grab your food, and you're on your way. So you have to waste no time. If you're trying to grab some breakfast quickly on the way to work, that's a great way to do it. Just order online, pop in there, grab your food, and be on your way. Again, Sunrise, the original, Jefferson Avenue, and Sunrise East, Poplar Avenue in East Memphis, and online at sunrise901.com.
We have had quite a few incidents of wackiness in Major League Baseball over the last couple of days. Yankees, the Mets. Of course, we got the Cardinals who have turned things around. A lot of baseball news. We'll talk about it as we do each and every week with Kerry Miller. He's coming up next, Kerry, from the Bleacher Report. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Extraordinary events come once in a blue moon, and right now, even the most extravagant luxuries are well within reach. The one and only May sale is back at Sissy's Log Cabin, and you can save up to 50% on nearly everything in the store. This is your chance to get the service, selection, and experience that makes you feel like family. But hurry, the best pricing of the year ends May 31st. Don't miss the one and only May sale at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
includes all rebates and incentives. Price excludes 695 PF. Lease includes PF 695. 650 acquisition fee. EV 6 P5610964. MSRP 50,200. Telluride RG 510 849. MSRP 38305. Forte LXS RE 780 169. MSRP 21820. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit dealers.
I got Jeff Allen on the line to hear about some crazy deals happening at Gossett Kia southbound Mariah.
Randy, I'd love to give all our customers our best deal. 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 282 miles EPA estimated range will get you where you want to go in the 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, plus a 2024 Telluride LX, $357 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing and 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9 and peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, we'll make you happy at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
When it's time for a brake job, go with a solution that delivers one of the smoothest and most quiet rides on the road. Napa Silent Guard Brakes. Made with fiber-reinforced shims that eliminate noise for the life of the pad. Rubber-coated hardware for a better fit on 99.5% of vehicles. And quality design that meets and exceeds OE performance. Napa Silent Guard Brakes deliver the stopping power and performance drivers demand in their vehicles. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning Repair Team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It has picked up a little bit more volume just in the last few minutes up through the Midtown area on 240 North over here at Lamar. Still holding up as far as really bad accidents on the major interstate routes. It could get tricky throughout the day on 240 East over here at Poplar. Still lots of radar over in Arkansas this morning down I-40 just west of West Memphis. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So we got a text on the Sisty's Log Cabin listener that says, if Tony Brothers is the ref tonight, then Minnesota wins. Just saying. Well, Tony Brothers is not officiating tonight, so you'll have to go with a different theory on that. It'll be Mark Davis, John Goebel, Kevin Scott, your officials tonight. So no Tony Brothers for this one.
Time now to talk some baseball with Kerry Miller.
It's time to talk some baseball. Joining Greg and Eli is Kerry Miller from the Bleacher Report. Here's Kerry with Greg and Eli.
Wow, do we have a lot to talk about with Kerry Miller. You can follow him on Twitter at Carrance James. What a week it has been. Kerry, how are you? Good morning to you.
Hey, I'm doing well. They definitely gave us some interesting stuff from Memorial Day week. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff to get to. We'll start with Mr. Hernandez, Angel Hernandez. What will you miss most about Angel Hernandez?
Not much. not as much as he missed on a nightly basis.
Do you have one moment of his illustrious career that stands out in your mind?
No, not particularly. I mean, it was like right every fourth or fifth day, when he's calling games behind the plate, something's going viral where he missed one by a full 6 inches. I mean, it was consistent. I'll be interested to see who becomes the new, face of horrible umpiring now, because before Angel Hernandez, it was Joe West, and then it was just immediately Angel was top of the list. I'm not really sure who the next man up is going to be, but the automated balls and strikes can't come soon enough. We'll put it that way.
Did you realize that he hadn't been umpiring games here for the last couple weeks?
No, I knew he hadn't been assigned to any postseason action in quite a while, which is a testament to how disappointing he had been on a regular basis. But yeah, I didn't even miss that he was out. I remember when the eclipse happened, people were saying that he missed the eclipse, and then I don't think I even saw him after that until the retirement.
He called that one wrong too. The eclipse, he got that wrong. No, in all seriousness, I mean, there's been people that are saying that perhaps it's a health issue. Perhaps it's a health issue with his wife, because with a very strong union backing up Angel Hernandez, Major League Baseball can't just turn around and just dump the guy, can they? I mean, maybe there's something to it.
Yeah, I mean, to leave midseason, you assume something's going on. I don't know what was happening behind the scenes, but yeah, it's unusual for sure. Now, granted, there may be, lower tier umpires who leave in the middle of the year, and we never hear a word about it. It's just because it's Angel Hernandez that this came up. But yeah, I wonder if something's going on behind the scenes there.
Speaking of umpiring, what are the chances that literally in 1 week, since we talked to you last Thursday, we have had 2 interference calls on infield pop-ups where the infield fly rule was in place, and yet we had an interference call?
Yeah, the one with Juan Soto, was that yesterday or 2 days ago? That was at least, that was a legitimate, there was there was contact made. I don't really know what Soto is supposed to do there. The one with the White Sox and the Orioles was the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and to end a game on that was just horrible. I mean, the Royal Orioles were probably going to win anyway, but still, that, what in the world? So yeah, the umpires are front and center, reminding us that they still exist as the robot umps are coming.
Ain't no robot gonna call that one. But it's like that again. The White Sox one, I don't like. That is the dumbest one I've ever seen. He literally didn't do anything to the guy, and the guy made the catch easily. I don't. But last night, I don't know. What is Soto supposed to do? He's got to get back to the bag, otherwise the guy catches the ball and tags him. So you have to get to the bag. You don't know that the guy's going to suddenly start backpedaling at the last second. I don't understand what the base runner is supposed to do there.
Yeah, I'm really not sure. I mean, it did seem like Nito was kind of trying to keep his foot on second base while making the catch so that he could immediately get the out. He kind of contorted his body, and then I think the wind blew it a little bit, and it was just a weird situation. I get that they called it, and I get that that Boone was furious about it. I mean, nobody loves getting thrown out of a game in the first inning more than Boone, but that was. I don't know what they were supposed to do there, but yeah, again, what happened with that Orioles White Sox was incomprehensible.
No, I'm with you on both accounts, but you got to give a guy a chance to get back to the bag, as Eli said. They tag him, and it's a double play. I mean, what else is he supposed to do? All right, the Yankees were out west. The Mets were in New York, so I can't say it was in the water in New York because obviously the Yankees had their shenanigans out there in California. But my gosh, the Mets, they've imploded. And Jorge Lopez, he imploded individually. For those who didn't see this video, as he leaves the mound, he takes his glove, he chucks it over the top of the protective screen into the stands, and now he will be let go by the organization today, if it hasn't happened already. After the game, interviewed in the locker room, he said the Mets are the worst team in the whole effing MLB. Not going to be in good standing with the team when that happens. No,
yeah, they already kicked him to the curb. He's gone.
Okay.
That was a moment for sure. I mean, that was a wild game. I mean, I get his frustration. Starling Marte, there were multiple instances out in right field where he was just kind of dogging it out there, like not showing the hustle that you usually see from a guy of his caliber. And they were throwing the ball over the field like they looked just broken. And I get it; they're spending $300 million and they're 11 games below 500. It's a frustrating situation, but yeah, that season is going to hell in a handbasket in a hurry here.
They had the players only meeting. It's all, and then do we have any update on Pete Alonso?
No, I was checking before this. Still awaiting tests on his hands. I don't know. He's took that. They called it a foul ball too, didn't they? It wasn't even a hit by pitch, but he took one off the hand. He's hurt. Same day that Edwin Diaz goes on the IL. Still no clue if Kodai Senga is going to pitch this season. Like it's getting ugly early.
Yeah, and the thing too, like with Lopez, he got kicked out of the game like over a check swing, like not even like a pitch that he thought was a strike, like that he threw, and it's just a check swing, and he loses his mind with an umpire.
Had to be built up frustration from other stuff, right? It just finally boiled over.
Yeah, I mean he was getting shot. I think he had just given up the home run to Ohtani, and then he was just basically begging for the third base umpire to help him get out of that inning.
Yes. Well, it's like, hey, I'm having problems out here. Can you at least give me a break, buddy? Just call it a swing. Call it a swing for all our good.
Other big news over the last week or so since we last spoke to Kerry. Kerry, by the way, joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. He's with us every Thursday. The Ronald Acuna Jr. injury. Second time for him with that injury. He's out for the year. Atlanta has lost a couple of key players now for the season. What is it all going to mean for the Braves?
Yeah, I mean, immediately it doesn't feel like much because he was really struggling compared to his norms. Like, it doesn't feel like that's an immediate drop-off, but it does feel like their ceiling is lowered, right? We assumed eventually Acuna was going to turn things around, become the reigning NL MVP that he is. Now I don't know what they're going to do long-term in the outfield. I know they're saying they're going to try and just handle it internally, but they were already lacking for outfield. Like, Kelnick isn't what they thought he was going to be in left. Now I guess they're going to try and play 35-year-old Adam Duvall every day in right. We'll see how that works out for them. I think they're definitely going to be searching for an outfielder at the deadline. But yeah, for right now, yeah, they were already, the Braves as a whole were underperforming, but it's not like they just lost who had been their best player of the season, right? It would feel almost worse if they were losing Marcell Ozuna, who's just been out of his mind, got almost a 1,000 OPS thus far. But yeah, that's brutal news. I mean, the kid's 26, his second torn ACL. He also sprained it his rookie year, was out for a month. So for as great of a runner as he is, he does not have healthy knees.
What the heck happened last night? My guy Shota Imanaga might be human.
Yeah, that regression is eventually coming for everybody. I'm surprised it hasn't come for Seth Lugo yet. He had another quality start last night against the Twins. I thought he was going to finally start to implode. But yeah, if the Cubs are not able to keep, every single outing is a quality start, we'll see if they're able to stay, up there in the playoff contention. But yeah, gave up some runs for once. Still has a sub-2 ERA for the season, though, so he's doing okay. Same with Ranger Suarez, got roughed up a little bit by the Rockies. Still has a sub-2 ERA, so we'll see if those surprising pitchers are able to hang on.
Well, I'd be with Imanaga. Like, that's the only games the Cubs win. So, like, I'm like, if they start losing his starts, we got all kinds of problems.
Oh, they got Ben Brown went 7 no-hit innings the other night. That shocked me. I saw the alert, no-hitter alert. It's like, oh, is it Imanaga? No, is it Justin Steele? Maybe Assad? Ben Brown? What in the world? So, yeah, they're almost on the Yankees level right now, where it just feels like constantly their pitching is doing well. They're just not getting the run support that the Yankees have been giving their pitching staff.
Phillies beat an above 500 team yesterday, knocking off the Giants. Giants barely above 500 at 29-28, but the Phillies now 39-18. I bring up this game not to gloat because it is the Phillies. I bring it up because what was Kyle Harrison doing? Was he actually trying to hit Bryce Harper in the head? 2 pitches inside like that. The bench is cleared. No real punches thrown. It looked like it could get really out of hand. but it never did. But, yeah, that's the last thing I want to see as a Phillies fan, somebody going headhunting to Bryce Harper, rather.
Yeah, and he was already not looking right. He seemed to hurt himself swinging in the first inning, and then there was that kind of wild throw over to first by Sanchez, and I don't know, something didn't look right with Harper, and then he got thrown out of the face twice. Like, I'm surprised he didn't charge the mound after the first one. I'm surprised there wasn't a full-blown fracas after the second one. It definitely seemed intentional on the second one, even though the catcher was, like, set up outside. Like, if the first one hadn't happened, I think maybe we don't think anything of it. It just kind of slipped out of Harrison's hand. Who knows? But, yeah, he was kind of just the way he was looking at Harper after the second one. It did feel kind of intentional. I'm surprised he didn't get tossed.
Yeah, I was surprised that Harper didn't charge him. He kept his cool. And then as the benches emptied onto the field, you had Matt Williams, who has a relationship with Harper. He came over to try to calm down Bryce. Matt's one guy who you don't want to mess with, as the announcer said. But yeah, it was one of those things that could have gotten out of hand. Sanchez, though, pitched really well. The Phillies continue to get some great pitching.
Kerry, what do you think about the decision to, I guess, count the Negro League stats now as official Major League Baseball statistics?
I think it's cool. It was fun to wake up and have a new career batting average leader now. It just kind of out of nowhere. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we count the ABA stats in basketball. Some people, I was looking at Kurt Warner's career page. They try and count his Arena League stats. Like, whatever. The MLB home run leader has a gigantic asterisk on it, Barry Bonds. So whatever, if you want to include historic numbers. I mean, I know it was a vastly different situation between the ABA and the Negro Leagues. One was just they kind of formed their own thing in basketball, whereas baseball players weren't allowed in Major League Baseball. It's a much different situation. But I have no problem with it. I think it's cool. It adds some things. Like, personally, I didn't know really anybody other than Buck Leonard and Josh Gibson. Now I can look through the annals of Negro League history and learn some more things. Well,
the players love it. I think everybody loves it. I think this is extremely positive. But we get into that debate on the greatest player, although we know how hard it is to compare eras. But Josh Gibson goes way back, and now all of a sudden they're anointing Josh Gibson as the GOAT. And I'm still thinking, Babe Ruth was pretty good. Not only with home runs and batting, but also pitching, as people forgot, as he was Shohei Ohtani before Shohei Ohtani. So I'm not ready to give Josh the crown, but one of the great, great players of all time now finally getting his just rewards.
Yeah, and I mean, debating things that will never be actually settled is basically what keeps baseball alive on a daily basis. So let's add some more fuel to the fire.
Yeah, the one thing that I was a little surprised that they did this only for the fact that baseball, of all the sports, cares so much about statistics and history and not rocking the boat. But it is about time. I mean, Jesus, 2024. So to bring all these great professional baseball players into one, I think is probably the right thing to do. All right, well, we'll see if we have another busy week like this one when we talk to you next Thursday, Kerry.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some crazy trade in the next 7 days. Get that conversation flowing for 2 months.
You never know what will happen. Of course, Kerry has you covered at Bleacher Report. Follow him on Twitter at Carrance James. And join us every Thursday when we talk Major League Baseball at this time with Kerry Miller. Thank you, Kerry.
All right, take care, guys.
You too. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Final segment here in hour number 2. Still to come in hour 3. We'll open up the hour talking Tiger football, Memphis Tiger football with Brian Moss. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Simple, smooth, and every sip is easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Get ready because the Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Summer Sales Event is on, and now is the best time to buy. You want 43 MPG Highway? We Gossett in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage, $18,960 or $279 a month. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, we Gossett, $27,350 or $399 per month. And your summer adventure starts with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE, we Gossett, $29,865 or $449 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi. 1870 Covington Pike. Online 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
HFO 9083, MSRP 19460, Sport RU 0110 764, MSRP 28070, Outlander RZO 53896, MSRP 30895, PF 695, acquisition fee 595, 15 cents excess mileage, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid to end of the month with approved pitted dealer stock only.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Hi, it's the Herd. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your businesses, evolving your passions. They push what technology can do. So great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to now.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
It's time to have a good time at Mugshots Grill and Bar in Olive Branch and Carterville. Come by for half-price happy hour 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with domestic drafts and $3 snacks. Then try one of Mugshots 19 specialty burgers, including the Mugshot Burger. Finish in 12 minutes and it's free. Plus, you get a free shirt. Mugshots in Olive Branch, 6400 Goodman Road, and Mugshots in Carterville, 656 West Poplar. So cheers to great food, good drinks, and fun company at Mugshots Grill and Bar, where you're always having a good time.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:49 the time.
Did you know that we had a professional women's hockey league?
I did not. I saw that last night.
I had no idea. And yet, the Canadians can't win that either. We had two American teams in the finals. We dominate the women's hockey. Canada, I don't think they should be able to call it their national sport anymore. At this point, we just own their sport from them.
Yes, but a lot of the American teams have a lot of Canadian players on those rosters.
I know, but still, they can't win a championship. Their teams can't win championships.
Well, can Edmonton come back? Edmonton won last night. They were trailing 2-0. They won 5-2. Series is even at 2 in the Western Conference Final. And then you have the Rangers and the Panthers. They're 2-2 in the Eastern Conference Final. So, there's still a chance. Wayne Gretzky isn't walking through that door, but they do have Connor McDavid.
I'll take the others. I'll go American. I'll take American.
I'm rooting for the American teams. I'd like to see the Rangers, one of the original 6. Although the Florida Panthers, if I'm not mistaken, they've never won a Stanley Cup. Rangers have. Edmonton, of course, has, with Gretzky and Messier winning 4, and Dallas has.
In the Women's Hockey League, they had in the first round of the playoffs, there was America versus Canada, both matchups. America won both.
Do you remember the teams? What cities?
Well, Minnesota, it was Minnesota versus Boston. Minnesota won the championship over Boston. they beat Toronto and Ottawa. I think it was
a women's team.
There was. I think there's 6 teams in the league. I looked up the league because when I saw the thing, I was like, "What? I have no idea what happened." I think there's 6 teams in the league. It's Minnesota, Boston, and New York, and then there's Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal, I believe. I think there's 3 U.S. teams, 3 Canadian teams.
Look at you, dude, spreading the knowledge of women's professional hockey.
And again, we get to
Doesn't even want to talk about the NHL.
We get to the finals, and it's 2 American teams. They have a 50%. They have 50% of the teams in the league, and not one of them could reach the finals. It's not their sport. We own their sport.
What happened to you as a kid that you became this person that hates Canada? Did you have a bad Tim Horton donut?
No, the only bad Canadian experience I had was as an adult. It wasn't anything as a kid. It was the one time I've been there.
Well, that was your fault, probably. I'm guessing.
No, it's their fault.
But no, seriously. I mean, they're good people. The Habs are good people.
I don't have a problem with.
They got the Mounties up there.
I don't have a problem with Canadian people.
Rush and Alanis Morissette and.
They're just all smart
Avril
enough to come to
Lavigne,
America to be successful.
Justin Bieber,
That's the whole point.
Bryan Adams.
Canada doesn't do anything. They have done. So all of the Canadian people come to America to be successful, like win hockey championships, play in the NBA, have musical careers. Like nobody does anything in Canada. It's all done. Like they all come here to do it.
So you're pulling for an American to win the Canadian Open this week, aren't you?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, that's right. It's the Canadian Open.
Yeah.
So you don't want
again
Corey Connors or Taylor
their
Pendrith to win,
country's
huh?
Open is just a ho-hum golf tournament. Like, I don't care about it. Like it's just your big country open. Oh, the Canadian one. It's like okay, fine. You have a golf tournament. That's it. Like it's again. There's nothing in Canada that stands out.
See, I want to go to Montreal. Actually, I'm going to be flying through Montreal on my trip that's coming up, but we're not going into the city. I'd love to go to Montreal. The only time I've been to Canada was when I covered the Motor City Bowl in Detroit, and we went over to Windsor when you could. It was post 9/11, but it was pretty easy to get over and back. And that's what I remember coming back. It was a little harder to get back into the country.
I think we had to show our license to get across.
Yeah, but I remember it was a little bit tougher to go back.
Well, yeah, because going into Canada, they're
again, like, come on in, spend your money.
It's a horrendous country. They don't have it. What are they going to stop you? All they want you to do is go to their casino and lose money.
Which you did, right?
Which I did.
They're fixed up there, all the casinos. All the games are fixed.
I have no.
I'm kidding.
I have zero. Literally less than zero desire to ever go back to Canada. There's nothing in Canada that I want to go to. There's absolutely nothing.
Okay, so obviously you're rooting for.
Oh, the Grizzlies had to come to America to be successful. Everything has to come to America to be successful out of Canada.
Well, there's some truth to that. Although SCTV was very successful, and they stayed in Canada, out of Toronto, and they produced a lot of great comedians and actors. So you're rooting for, obviously, Dallas to beat Edmonton. And we could have Dallas in the Western Conference. Or, no, we could have Dallas in the Stanley Cup final and Dallas in the NBA final, which is kind of cool.
You already got the Texans winning the World Series last season.
Oh, baby. They may try to succeed.
And then you also
Texas Rangers, excuse me.
And then you also have the Cowboys.
And then you get the Cowboys.
Yeah, you got the Cowboys.
Who
So it's like,
who can't get out of their own way. Who just can't ever win a championship.
Think about that. The Stars, the Mavericks, the Rangers, and the crappy Cowboys. America's team. They might as well move to Canada.
Somehow.
Make them the Canadians team.
I don't even know who Canada's team is. You know why? Because nobody cares who's Canada's team.
It's got to be one of the Rough Riders. Aren't there 8 teams nicknamed Rough Riders?
Isn't it the Argonauts? The
Toronto
CFL?
Argonauts. Yeah.
I don't know. Again, because nobody cares who Canada's team is.
Chad Kelly goes up there.
It's probably the Toronto Blue
wins an
Jays.
MVP. Chad Kelly goes up there, wins an MVP, and then gets in trouble again.
It's the Blue Jays are their, I guess, would be their most successful.
Yeah, and I hate the Blue Jays for what they did to the Phillies. Mr. Joe Carter did to Mitch Williams. Wild thing. Hitting that home run in the World Series. Did us.
Well, I guess.
So I hate Canada, too.
I guess all time Edmonton would be their most successful because they.
Yeah, 4 cups.
Or Montreal. Well, how many? Who's got more?
Montreal's got
would have more.
Well, and then Toronto. Montreal's got I'm guessing here, 12. And Toronto's got 9, something like that, 7. Toronto hasn't won, though, in forever. But Edmonton in the 80s, it was the Islanders won 4 straight Stanley Cups. And then the Edmonton Oilers won 4 out of 5 years. It was 2 teams that absolutely dominated. Just absolutely dominated. And since then, it's been a bunch of different teams. But, yeah.
All American.
All American.
It's been a bunch of American teams that have won since then.
But Edmonton is hoping to change all that. Again, Edmonton and Dallas, they're 2-2. And the Rangers and Carolina are 2-2. Can you name the original 6 in hockey? The original 6 teams?
Blackhawks.
Correct.
Bruins.
Correct. I'm trying to do this by memory now.
Red Wings.
Yes, I think so. I mentioned the other one. They're still alive. I mentioned one of them. They're still alive in the playoffs here.
Edmonton?
No. Rangers. 2 more. Now you go to Canada, I think.
Toronto.
These 2. I think it's Toronto and Montreal. Right? I think that's the original 6. Chicago, Toronto, Montreal, Boston, the Rangers, and the Red Wings. If it's wrong, I'm sticking to it. I still think those are the 6. Zach, am I right? The original 6. And by the way, where did the Dallas Stars move from?
Minnesota.
Correct. They were called the
North Stars.
See, you know more hockey than you pretend to know.
That's the thing with this women's league. I don't think they have nicknames. Everything I read, the story about it, it just keeps saying Minnesota. I don't know if they have nicknames or not. It just kept saying Minnesota, Boston.
Dallas is one of.
No, not the original 6. Not Dallas. Montreal, Toronto, Boston, Chicago, Detroit, and the Rangers. Nailed it. There will be a test.
Well, hell, I don't even know anything, and I got 4 of them.
Yeah, you did well up until Edmonton. All right, we'll take a break, come back, hour number 3. Tigers football talk to open up the 3rd hour with Brian Moss, the publisher of TigerSportsReport.com. All these recent additions through the portal, how good are these players, and how much will they help the Tigers in what should be and what is expected to be a banner season? We'll get the prospects with Brian Moss when he joins us next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
All of us tend to overdo things a little bit once spring takes hold, and some of the time we might wake up with a little bit of a headache and a lot of appetite. Your answer to a big night before is a breakfast or lunch at Sunrise. Sunrise East on Poplar and Sunrise on Jefferson are made for filling your belly with sweet relief. Have some signature square biscuits, some perfectly prepared eggs, or at lunch, a nice juicy Sunrise burger. And if your night before isn't quite over, both Sunrise locations have a full bar. Sunrise on Poplar and Sunrise on Jefferson, the perfect place to get over last night.
Free. Who doesn't love free? With Milo's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/MyLowe's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
With Verizon, now everyone can get our best phone deals.
Even if I'm new?
Even if you're new.
What if I've been with Verizon forever?
Oh, yeah. You see, new and existing customers get the amazing iPhone 15 with tons of storage on us. With any iPhone trade at any model, any condition. Guaranteed with unlimited ultimate.
Here's one. What if?
That's a yes. There's a deal out there for everyone. Only at Verizon. $829.99, 128 gigabyte only device payment or full retail purchase with new or upgrade smartphone line on unlimited ultimate plan. Minimum $90 a month with auto pay plus taxes and fees for 36 months required. Less $830 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Trade-in terms apply.
Jenkins Floors and More invite you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and opening June 1st in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church located in town Memphis.
This traffic report brought to you by Appliance Liquidators with low prices and top-notch customer service. Appliance Liquidators, 3320 Goodman Road East in South Haven.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still a bit of volume trying to get up through the Midtown area. 240 going northbound past Norris all the way up to Union as traffic increases even more. I-40 east across the Hernando de Soto Bridge over from West Memphis. Lots of radar, at least it was earlier on. I-40 out in parts of Fayette County. Be careful. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in the Memphis area. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Love this song. Final hour for us today here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg, Eli, and Zach with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Check them out at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 71 degrees. It will get up to 83 today. Mixture of clouds and sun, but mostly sunny. However, there is a chance for a stray shower, possible thunderstorm, but that percentage is low at 15% tonight. 66 degrees for a low, partly cloudy skies. Third hour of the program is brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More, and I'm sure you've heard by now, they are moving to Horn Lake, Mississippi. Their facilities right now, their showroom in Hernando at 6 East Commerce. They will be moving to 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake, Mississippi, so closer to the metropolitan Memphis area. Although, again, Hernando, a short drive from anywhere. They also have stores in Little Rock and Cleveland, Mississippi. They specialize in flooring and carpeting. And if it's variety you're looking for, they have it at Jenkins Floors and More. This is a family-owned and operated business, but they have everything you need from SPC and WPC vinyls, which are scratch-resistant, waterproof, ceramic and porcelain tiles, hardwoods by Portercraft, carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet, backsplashes for your kitchens and bathrooms, plantation shutters, blinds, so much more. They sell it wholesale. They skip the middleman. They're going to save you lots of money. Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins started this business about 8 years ago in their garage down in Cleveland. And because of their quality work, the attention to detail, and their pricing, they have earned the reputation of being one of the top flooring companies in the area. This is for both residential and commercial. So homeowners, contractors, do yourself a favor, see what Jenkins Floors and More has to offer. They will install and do so in an unheard of 2-week turnaround. So if you want a free estimate, you want to see all the samples, they will come to you. Just give them a call. Set it up right now at 662-469-9350. That's 662-469-9350. Or visit them right now at their current warehouse, and that's in Hernando at 6 East Commerce, along with Cleveland, Mississippi, and Little Rock, but coming soon to 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake, Mississippi. It's Jenkins, Floors, and more. Time now to talk some Memphis Tigers football. I don't know for sure if Ryan Silverfield is done adding. He's been pretty busy, a lot busier than I thought here in the post-spring portal. But there are a number of players that people are excited about, and a guy who has his finger on the pulse of everything Tigers football. His name is Brian Moss. He's the publisher of TigerSportsReport.com, which is part of the Rivals and Yahoo Sports networks. You can follow him on Twitter at RivalsBMoss. Good morning, Brian.
Morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Do you, in your opinion, think that there was a little bit more movement than you had originally thought there would be as far as the post-spring transfer portal?
Maybe a little, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised because every year the movement gets more and more. So, maybe it initially shocked me, but when you sit back and take a look at it, maybe it shouldn't have surprised us because, like I said, there's more and more movement happening later on every single year.
One of the bigger names that the Tigers were able to get was Elijah Herring, who led Tennessee in tackles last year. How were they able to get a guy who's a leading tackler for a team in the SEC, and just how good do you think he can be for Memphis?
I think he could be very good in the AAC conference. When you look at it, some Tennessee fans may point to the Pro Focus and be like, oh well, he wasn't highly rated, according to Pro Football Focus. I think his score was just a 50, and that's. But you also have to take a look at that because Memphis also got a linebacker out of Harvard who Pro Football Focus graded as a 60.7. So are we saying a linebacker from Harvard is better than the linebacker from Tennessee? No, absolutely not, because you have to take a look at, obviously the quality of play. But I think, maybe University of Tennessee didn't value him as much as maybe they should, or value him, that they think they can get a better linebacker elsewhere. So they may have forced him out. And Memphis has money now. Look, the FedEx, the NIL, and that has helped out tremendously because now Memphis has a budget to where you can go after some of these folks that may not look at Memphis before, but they're definitely looking at them now because kids want to get paid, and let's face it, kids want to get in that college football playoff, and Memphis is in a prime position to be that Group of 5 representative to go to the playoffs.
Brian Moss joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. Yeah, along those lines. Certainly a lot of the programs at the University of Memphis will benefit from that gift from FedEx and will continue to over the years that they're going to be involved in giving the $5 million, plus what the collectives go out and do themselves as far as raising funds for these student athletes. But I think football will benefit from it more than anybody, and I think we're starting to see that. Mario Anderson, who comes in from South Carolina. You just talked about Elijah Herring. In the past, Memphis has been able to get some guys that played in power conferences, specifically the SEC, when those players were at their wits' end. It wasn't going to happen for them at their original school. They were injured, maybe academic issues. There was always a reason why, and then they looked to bounce back. Now Memphis is able, I'm not saying right off the bat out of high school, they're going to get a 5-star guy over Alabama. But they're going to be able to grab these players that after 1 year and a productive year looking to return to South Carolina or looking to return to Tennessee, that they're going to be able to get some of these guys every once in a while, which, again, is unheard of from the past.
Yeah, and you've seen in U.S. Silverfield, getting to 4-star guys, when he was assistant coach for Mike Norvell. But also just this past season, the wide receiver, Keondae Henry, he was a 4-star wide receiver. I mean, he had offers from, Boston College and Purdue. I think he also had Stanford. So, I mean, he had some big-time offers, but he came to, Memphis. And so that's a kid to watch for, to see if he can crack that too deep. Because, Memphis, I mean, when you take a look at this roster, I think Silverfield has done a fantastic job of, looking at the portal and looking at your high school kids that you're going to recruit. I mean, there's some, Clemson, for example, they're famous for not wanting to hit the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
But you have schools that will hit the transfer portal hard. I think Silverfield and Memphis has done a fantastic job of plugging holes with the transfer portal, but not losing the fact that you're going to need to have some high school kids that you can develop. And when you take a look at the roster, just off the top of my head, like when you take a look at the offensive line, I mean, you have the transfers that are coming in. Jalen Nichols from South Carolina, Xavier Hill from LSU that played last year. But you also have kids that you recruited out of high school, like Jonah Gamble. You have, Parker Peterson from, I think he's from Georgia. That dude's like 6'7", 330. I can't remember exactly how much he weighs. I know he's 6'7". Malachi Breland was highly rated coming out of high school. I think he'll be, challenging to starting right guard this year. So, Silverfield's done a great job of managing the transfer portal and also not losing focus that high school kids, you can't forget about them as well in your class.
Well, and I guess the combination of that is DJ Allen, who's out of high school but also out of the transfer portal because he went to Purdue for the spring, and now he's coming to Memphis. How highly was he rated? Like, what kind of player do you think he can be, if he's here for 3-4 years?
Yeah, Rivals had him as a transfer. He was a 3-star. Coming out of high school, he was a 3-star as well. I mean, he had offers. Take a look. He had some pretty good offers. Indiana, Georgia Tech, Louisville, Maryland all offered him coming out of high school. And it's the kids like this that I think Silverwood has done a great job because he's from the Memphis area. Maybe he was a little bit homesick, and you can now with the with the FX money, you can say, hey, come back home, play in front of your fans. And Memphis has done a great job with hometown kids, Calvin Austin, Anthony Miller. So, I mean, now you've had success. So these kids can look at Memphis as a viable option, going forward.
Kermonte Hamilton's a perfect example of that. Went to Ohio State, now back in Memphis. Brian Moss joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. The last guys, maybe the last overall, but we'll see what Ryan Silverfield does here, that have transferred to Memphis are the Minor brothers. Kobe and Daryl from Indiana, played in the Big Ten. Kobe, a defensive back, Daryl, a linebacker. I've heard an awful lot about Kobe Minor, that he could be a guy right now that just jumps right into the starting lineup. What can you tell us about those guys?
Yeah, the Minor brothers were definitely going to be a package deal from everything that I've heard. Minor, I think he will challenge for two deep. Daryl, the linebacker, I don't think he'll crack the starting lineup. But, yeah, Kobe, he was in, I think, the honorable mention for all Big Ten last season. And, Memphis doesn't have a need for starting quarterback. So, I mean, he's to me, he's a good shutdown corner. He definitely has, to me, a high football IQ. I think it's wide open because Julian Barnett. When you take, I look at the Pro Football Focus ratings. I don't rely on, but it's a good gauge. Of course, Minor played in the Big Ten, but his Pro Football Focus rating was 69.1 for Indiana last year, and the highest cornerback for Memphis was Barnett, and he had 59.4. So when you take a look at that, he's taken a step down in competition-wise. I think he's going to be a starter and a fantastic player for Memphis.
Anytime you get a guy from Oklahoma, certainly that kind of opens some eyes. Reggie Grimes, the defensive lineman, who didn't have a great numbers, didn't play a whole lot at Oklahoma, but was a pretty highly ranked kid, as you would expect, going to Oklahoma, coming out. What do you think about him kind of taking that step down into the AAC?
Yeah, he's another one that I think is going to do great because, like we mentioned before, Kermonte Hamilton came down. Another nose tackle, Patrick Lucas from Indiana, is coming over to play nose tackle. But Rambo Hunter came over from Texas A&M and had a pretty decent year last year, and Darius Jones. So the defensive line is pretty stacked with transfer portal kids, and I'm really excited to see what they can do. And now, will Grimes play that edge role at Memphis? We'll see, because William Whitlow, had a pretty decent, career so far at Memphis. So Whitlow and Grimes will definitely battle out, I think, for that edge spot, and it's just going to be fascinating to see, because when you take a look at Silverfield's career so far here at Memphis, being the head coach, I think this just might be the most talented roster he's ever had. I think it's definitely going to be the deepest roster he's ever had. And if he can put that together, man, this could be a special year for Memphis.
Brian, who are some of the other later transfer portal gets for Memphis that we should keep an eye on?
I'm really interested to see Trent Holler, the offensive lineman. I think he was limited in the spring because of injury. But, will it be him at center? Or, I think Jonah Gamble moved to center during the spring. So that's going to fall. Matt Hudson, I mentioned earlier, the linebacker from Harvard. I'm interested to see what he can do being a step up. Another linebacker, Jaden Flaker, he did phenomenal for NC Central. And what's interesting, because you may not think that, a step up may be a challenge for him, but Chandler Martin, he was at ETSU. So, he stepped up in competition and played phenomenal last year for Memphis. So definitely those two, like I mentioned before, Patrick Lucas, defensive lineman. I'm really interested to see some of these, how they fit into Memphis and how this coaching staff really develop these kids, because Memphis has an excellent opportunity. I thought they had a great opportunity last year. Now, when you look at the schedule, their harder games are on the road. Mm-hmm. But man, if Memphis fans were saying about last year, I mean, it's got to be doubled this year, because really in my opinion, the only way Memphis loses is if they lose themselves. I mean, if they beat themselves, because this roster is stacked, and if they can just put it together, I'm telling you, it could be a great year for Memphis.
If so, who do you look at as who they're kind of competing with against, you think, for that group of 5 spot in the playoff?
Well, I mean, I know a lot of them out there will point to Boise State, but I think it really comes to within the AAC. If Memphis can run that, I mean, you're going to compete against Tulane, but, I think Tulane is not going to be as good as they were last year. The one my dark horse to win the AAC, if it's not going to be Memphis, look for South Florida. I mean, they took a big step last year, and Golish, he's doing a tremendous job, with the transfer portal as well. So to me, it's going to be Tulane, UTSA, or South Florida that can challenge Memphis. I really don't. When I look around elsewhere, I really don't see a team outside American Conference that could really, challenge the American Conference. I just think they have it on lock.
Look, there should be excitement. It could be a very special year, but I hope people don't get overly excited. Like you said, there's some teams like South Florida that are doing pretty well, very quietly, kind of behind the scenes doing their thing. And, God forbid one injury can change anything. We've seen that in all types of sports, including here in Memphis with the Grizzlies, what injuries can do for you. Hopefully, knock on wood, it's going to be that banner year. We deserve it. Memphis deserves it. This city deserves it to hopefully have that special year. Brian, before we let you go, one other thing. For the 2025 recruiting class, I know there's a quarterback, and I can't remember his name, that Memphis is in on, that a lot of schools are in on. And there's also an offensive lineman from that same school that Memphis is going after. I'm thinking about the future, because after this year, the great Seth Hennigan will be done. We'll have used up his eligibility. Do you know who I'm talking about, number one, and what do you think about the future at that position?
Yeah, I think it's Antoine Hill.
Yes,
and
that's it.
He is an interesting character, because when I talk to him, he's not, he doesn't care about the biggest school. He wants to be developed and he's beginning a great relationship with the coach Cramsey, and he doesn't care about the Georgia or FSU or anything like that. He really wants to be developed. He wants to have success, and he wants to go to the next level. Now, obviously, you could say that about a lot of kids, but it seems like Hill has a good head on his shoulders, that he's looking at it as a business. And, and I think Memphis is in a great shot with him. Now, he has a visit coming up. That's going to be, important. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be next month. I'll have to double check that. But he was committed to Colorado before he backed off on that commitment. And his family has a big influence on that as well. He told me that, he won't make any decision without his family. Mm-hmm. And, when he visited Memphis on an unofficial visit, he said his mother was very, very impressed with Memphis on how everything was a family environment. And, that bodes well. I think Memphis will definitely be in the final three. Will they get him? You can sell Memphis on him for the simple fact that, hey, Seth Hennigan started as a freshman. Look at the success he's had. You could be the next true freshman, starting quarterback at Memphis. He has the arm. He has the legs. He has everything you want in a quarterback. And, Memphis is definitely going to be in it, till the end.
He is Brian Moss. He's the publisher of TigerSportsReport.com, which is part of the Rivals and Yahoo Sports networks. You can follow him on Twitter at RivalsBMoss. And, Brian, I would imagine pretty simple to get a membership to your publication?
Yeah, join here in a couple of weeks. We'll have a promotion that will start that where you can get free access until fall camp. So I'll make sure I tweet that out, so I'll look forward to it.
Brian, as always, thank you so much.
All right, you have a good one.
You too. Good stuff from Brian Moss, as always, talking Memphis Tigers football. We'll take a timeout, come back. More Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli after the next break, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time to have a good time at Mugshots Grill and Bar in Olive Branch and Carterville. Come by for half-price happy hour 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with domestic drafts and $3 snacks. Then try one of Mugshot's 19 specialty burgers, including the Mugshot Burger. Finish in 12 minutes and it's free. Plus, you get a free shirt. Mugshots in Olive Branch, 6400 Goodman Road, and Mugshots in Carterville, 656 West Poplar. So cheers to great food, good drinks, and fun company at Mugshots Grill and Bar, where you're always having a good time.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
It's time to get to Gossett Kia on the bike so Bobby J can put you in your new Kia today. Want summer fun and 41 MPG? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 282 miles of EPA estimated range with new 2023 Kia EV6 Win? $249 a month. Get extra room and extra fun with 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $357 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing. All 24-month lease plus 0% APR for 48 months. Available on the all-new Kia EV9. And peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Incentives, price excludes 695 PF. Lease includes PF 695, 650 acquisition fee, ED6, P5610964, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG 510 849, MSRP 38305, 4Pay LXS RE 78169, MSRP 21820. Plus finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Take your basketball shooting and passing skills to new levels at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge science and technology and provides instant objective feedback with actual hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching that will help make you the best basketball player on any court. Shoot 360 is utilized by a diverse range of basketball players from NBA to college, high school to aspiring young talents. All skill levels use the Shoot 360 basketball program to learn proper shooting techniques, improve their fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge. Shoot 360 Memphis will be moving soon to a bigger and more convenient location in Cordova. So sign up with them now before the big move June 1st. Shoot 360 Memphis. Call them today at 901-316-5500. That's 901-316-5500. Or visit them at 85 Market Center Drive in Collierville. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning Repair Team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:27 is the time. Like I mentioned, there'll be a lot of kickoff times announced today for the first 3 weeks of the SEC season as they continue to meet at SEC Media Days, the spring meetings in Destin. There is a report that the 2024 Egg Bowl between Ole Miss and Mississippi State, of course, is shifting off Thanksgiving onto Black Friday. The Rebels and Bulldogs will kick off at 3:30 Eastern on November 29th. Will be televised on ABC. So that is certainly the national spotlight for that game on ABC. But I kind of miss it. I love it on Thanksgiving.
It's cool, but with the NFL having added that third Thanksgiving game and having, you're going up against the NFL that night. The NFL's doing everything else too. They're doing Black Friday and all that stuff, but I don't know what time their game is on Black Friday. But I don't know if that's the decision. Obviously, it's ESPN making that, or ABC, ESPN making that decision when they want it. But I would think that maybe it is the fact that they're tired of going up against the NFL.
That's probably correct. Oklahoma and Texas, the first Red River rivalry as SEC members will kick off, according to reports, at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central, October 12th on ABC or ESPN. Traditionally, that's an 11 a.m. local kick, but moved back to 2:30 Central Time.
Speaking of the NFL, by the way, man, it is a good time to be a receiver in the NFL.
Yes, it is. And not a running back.
Jalen Waddle gets a 3-year, $84 million extension, $76 million guaranteed.
That's the important number. $76 million guaranteed.
I mean, he's their number 2 receiver. Like, CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson. It feels like they're both like they're both waiting for the other. Like they want one to go first so that they can then they come in on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even know what kind of numbers they look like. What those might be. I mean, Justin Jefferson. If Jalen Waddle can get over $25 million guaranteed, I mean, what do you give Justin Jefferson?
Right.
And what's Justin Jefferson asked for? I mean, you got to be over 30. I mean, the dude, arguably the best receiver in all of football. Jalen Waddle's a number 2 receiver on his team, getting over $25 million a year.
Did you see the report that Minnesota at the draft, when they moved up, they took McCarthy, right? But they had moved up in hopes that Neighbors would drop down? Were they talking about bringing neighbors in to go along with Jefferson?
I'm sure, yeah.
Okay, because there was those rumors months ago about maybe even looking to shop him, which I thought was ludicrous. What does Tyreek Hill make?
I don't remember what that contract he got was.
It's got to be more than that, right?
Not necessarily.
Tyreek Hill's the number one receiver.
Yeah, but it's just this one comes years later. Like it's all
right. But yeah, that's crazy. $76 million guaranteed. The shelf life of a receiver is a lot longer than it is for a running back. The wear and tear is not there.
I mean, I would assume. I would guess that Lamb and Jefferson probably end up in the same neighborhood, but again, I don't know what that neighborhood is. That might be 30. That might be 35. Like receivers now are. It's amazing. Like,
what's Jamar Chase making? Has he gotten his big one yet?
No, Chase wouldn't have his big one yet.
Okay, so what is he going to make?
I mean, I think they've put such value on the receiver position now that like it's seemingly surpassing just about everything other than the quarterback.
Well, it makes sense.
It's
it's a pass happy league. It's become even more so. So I would think, and you have again a longer shelf life, like I mentioned with the receivers. Who do you think is the best receiver? Who do you think the number one receiver is in the league? Zach, I'll ask you as well.
I think Jefferson is.
You think it's Justin Jefferson?
Yes. Jefferson as well.
You think it's Justin Jefferson? Okay. God,
By the way,
so many good
Tyreek,
ones.
He signed a 4-year, $120 million contract with the
Dolphins.
So he's a
full
third.
120. That's 120 guaranteed.
No, $72 million is guaranteed.
Yes, but he's gonna end up getting it because he's playing that contract out pretty much.
Yeah.
So 4 years, 120. So he's got 30. He basically got 30 with that deal.
Well, from the cap hit, like he might not play it out in his last year to his contract.
Oh, he's got one more year after this coming year?
He has this upcoming year he after this upcoming year he has 2 more years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has 2 more years after this year. And so his cap hit for 25 is 34 and in 26 is 56 million.
Yeah, he won't put that.
Yeah,
he won't. So he won't. I can't imagine they'll either come up with a restructured deal or whatever. But again, if you're talking, so they're paying him, theoretically, you'd be paying him $56 million that year as a cap hit or whatever. And then Waddle, another, so you'd have $70 million, just over $70 million in 2 receivers.
And then what are you paying? What are you paying Tua?
Well, Tua by that time would be having to get his new they would have his new contract be kicking. You have to have the new contract and get it. It would start kicking in.
So they'll sign Zach to be the running back because they have no money left, right?
But the thing is, like on the receivers, yes, I understand the importance of the receiver, but as you like. I don't like. To me, there's a lot of really good receivers. I don't know that I would like if I had to replace Jalen Waddle. If I was the Dolphins, I think I could replace Jalen Waddle.
Look how many receivers picked in the first round this year. Now, will they all pan out and become stars? We don't know, but there's a good chance that a lot of them will. A high percentage. How many were taken? 6 or 7 in the first round? Many early in the first round. So to your point, I agree. I agree 100%.
I just don't see paying 2 receivers that much. You got your number 1 receiver, like you got a stud. I get it. Like you don't want to lose Justin Jefferson. You wouldn't want to lose a CD Lamb, Jamar Chase, all these guys. And even though with them, Tyreek Hill, like I just can't see paying a second receiver that much money with what's out there.
Here's the thing, and this is why it's hard to find great corners anymore in football, collegiate level, NFL level. Of course, the NFL gets the best of what they have, but it's not like it's the deepest position. Why? Because most of the time, the best athletes want to play wide receiver. Used to be where maybe they wanted to be a running back, but they also see the wear and the tear of the running back. You're a wide receiver. You're getting paid handsomely in a pass-happy league, right? Quarterbacks airing it out. It's all about putting points on. The chicks dig the long ball. And then are you getting beat up physically? No, because all the advantages, right, are with the receiver. So the defense can only do so much. They're not mugging you like they used to be able to do. It makes sense that these young kids, these great athletes, want to be wide receivers if they play the game of football.
You know, you just look in that division between you got Buffalo and you got Miami, who have taken the exact opposite approaches to the receiver position. Buffalo got rid of all theirs.
Right.
And it's like, heck, we'll just go get some. We'll draft and get guys that way. Whereas the Dolphins are clearly like, we're not letting these guys go. Like we are making sure we hold on to these. So that'd be interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, Buffalo clearly like, well, there's plenty of guys who we could get that will replace Stephon Diggs for way cheaper. And the Dolphins are like, hell with that. We got good receivers. We aren't letting anybody. We want to make sure we hold on to them.
Yes. The reason I think, and I don't know about the financial situation with Buffalo compared to Miami, but when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen, who is a bulldozer, who's a runner, they rely more on running the ball in this day and age of a passing game. So I could see where they go a little bit less with the receivers. You know, Stephon Diggs was a hell of a receiver. He also had issues in Buffalo. So I could see why they are going less money with the receivers while still having confidence in those receivers because they have Josh Allen, who's a different type of quarterback. With Tua, who I'm not saying can't scramble, but that's really not part of what they do. It's getting that ball out to those receivers. Run the ball every once in a while with Mostert or whoever else is there, but get the ball out to those receivers and let them fly. But yes, I'm in agreement with you. That just sounds crazy to pay two receivers that much money. But it's not my money.
And who else are their receivers?
Well, who's their tight end? Do they even have a significant tight end down there?
Well, they used to have Gesicki, and then they brought in who replaced Gesicki as their tight end?
I can tell you right now. Because remember, I think Mike Gesicki, he's with the Patriots.
Yeah. Who did they bring in to replace
Odell
him?
Beckham they just brought in, didn't they?
Yeah, so tight end wise.
Not a tight end.
They brought in Jonnu Smith.
Jonnu Smith, that's right.
Okay.
Jody Fortson played for the Chiefs. Then a couple other young guys that, they're working their way in.
But they bring in OBJ. They're not paying him that much.
No.
So it's, take a flyer on a guy who...
Who was the third receiver last year?
Cedric Wilson?
That's right. And he didn't get a ton, but they actually paid him pretty decently when they got him.
Yeah.
I mean, for what he was, coming in as a third receiver. And that's all. Again, and now the advantage for them is, again, they're not paying Tua the crazy money yet.
Right.
But they're going to be paying, I would assume, they're going to give him the contract. And so they're going to be paying Tua crazy money. And then, can you have, if you're, and I don't, what he gets, I'm sure it'll be $40 million or whatever. Can you pay Tua $40 million in receiver? But again, Tyreek Hill. Now, the part of this plan with Waddle is probably the fact that when this kind of kicks in, we'll get rid of Tyreek. Jalen Waddle becomes our number one receiver.
Well, it's not sustainable for a long time. So they're trying to strike while the iron's hot if they can make a move and get to the Super Bowl. They also, did they not draft Taj Washington? Zach? The former Tiger.
I was getting ready to say that. I was like, we got a local connection guy here.
Taj Washington.
But I think Taj might have been an undrafted.
No, I think he was drafted, wasn't he?
I think he went seventh round or sixth or seventh round. I think he was.
I'm not saying.
Very late,
I'm not saying he's going to be impactful, but
yeah, I would say them giving Waddle this money ensures what you said, that there's no way Tyreek Hill plays that. Certainly not the last year of that contract. He might. They might. You said it was 2 years after this coming season.
Yes.
Yeah, so after this coming season, they'll either probably look to restructure with Tyreek Hill, or they'll get rid of, or they'll just let him go.
Or when's Tua up?
And Jalen Waddle becomes your number one receiver.
But when's Tua up? When's that big deal going to have to happen? Isn't it after this year?
Yeah, he's this year he's just club option. They opted in for his final year of his rookie deal.
So they got to decide. That's what I think they're doing. They're putting all their chips in to see what they can do with Tua, Waddle, Hill, and everybody else to make a run at the AFC Championship and get in the Super Bowl. And if it doesn't work out, then there's changes. I mean, Tua is not – it's not etched in stone that Tua is going to be their quarterback for the long term.
I bet he is. I bet they give him a big deal.
No, you're probably right, and I would lean toward that too. But I don't think it's a guarantee. If he goes out there and flounders, and he was good last year. Remember the start he got off to? He was fantastic. But if he
he'll probably get the new deal
regresses
before this season.
You think this summer they'll do that after just doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But again, it won't kick in because it doesn't kick in. Like this,
won't there be a signing bonus?
This isn't. This extension for Waddle will probably. What did Waddle have one more year left on his current deal? Does this kick in the following year? I'm assuming.
Doesn't it supersede whatever your contract is?
No, these are extensions. Like this was an extension. Waddle probably had 1 year left.
Yeah, I think he had one more year left.
Yeah, and then. So as this again, when this kicks in, then you just kick Tyreek out. Like it's just all right. Now he's making this much. Now you get.
So is that how it always works? I mean, when I see a coaching extension, right, and they're getting ready to go into that season, and then you see, it's $50 million over 7 years for a coach or whatever the hell it is, that I thought they would factor that all in to the actual year that's coming up. And instead of what was originally on that contract, the first contract, that changes with the new contract. And it's taken into consideration when they do, when they divide it up. Maybe I'm wrong, but I always thought that was the case. Because why would you do that going into the season?
I mean, I think if you do for that example there, when you're talking about restructuring, then they're adding in that last year within the new deal to kind of make the money work. If it's just a clean hey, we're just going to extend you, then that means that you didn't have another year after this upcoming year, and we're just going ahead and extend you for your new money.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I mean, I get it. Like if you're talking about getting a new deal, I mean, this isn't coaching. This is the NFL. These are players. There's rules. Like the rookie contract goes for a certain length, and all these, there are rules to this.
Right. I just wonder why they do it now as opposed to after the season.
Because you don't want them to get to free agency. First of all, it's
you would do it before free aagency, but
and the players ask for it. If you don't get it, they hold out and things like that.
All right.
Let's see. Yeah, so this will take Waddle through 2028. So 28, 27, 26. So he must have 2 years left. He has that this year and the 25 season. And then this will kick in for the 26 season because this takes him through the 2028 season.
So how many years this new deal, what did they announce? How many years?
It's a 3-year extension.
3 year, okay. Gotcha.
So he has 2 years. What year? Yeah, because this could be his 4th year. And he was a first-round pick. So he's got his rookie deal is 5 years as a first-round pick. So then this is the 3-year extension on top of that. Moving can be stressful, but the folks at Black Tie Moving, they'll take the stress and worry out of that process for you. Wherever you're headed, with the new home, new office space, whatever, if it's across town or across country, the folks at Black Tie Moving are there to help and make sure it goes as smoothly as it possibly can. You don't want to try and do it all yourself. You want to get the professionals to do that move for you. So call the folks at Black Tie Moving, 901-316-6196, or you go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Get that personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving. They will, during the moving process, have a moving concierge available to you 24/7. So if any questions or if things come up during the move, well, you can get a hold of somebody and get those questions answered for you. Again, 901-316-6196 or blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Get the professionals on your side for your next move. Get the professionals from Black Tie Moving.
All right, when we come back, final segment, there is a report out there that the Tigers basketball could be involved with a player that we talked about earlier. That's a nice little tease for you to come back and listen to who it is. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
You know, one thing we never talk about is how family-friendly Central Barbecue is.
Always has been.
At any Central Barbecue location.
And there are a lot of them.
You know your kids will have a good time and a great meal.
The kids' menu is perfect.
Everything from a grilled cheese to a junior barbecue sandwich to a hot dog, junior chicken sandwich, or classic mac and cheese, and they all come with a side and a small drink, all at a great price.
You just left me with literally nothing to say about kids at Central Barbecue.
I was just trying to be thorough.
You covered everything. What am I supposed to talk about?
The parking?
You just sold the whole commercial.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Includes all rebates and incentives. Price excludes 695 PF. Lease includes PF 695. 650 acquisition fee. EV 6 P5610964. MSRP 50,200. Telluride RG 510 849. MSRP 38305. Forte LXS RE 78169. MSRP 21820. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit dealers.
I got Jeff Allen on the line to hear about some crazy deals happening at Gossett Kia southbound Mariah.
Randy, I'd love to give all our customers our best deal. 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG highway, $199 a month, $34.99 do it signing. 282 miles EPA estimated range will get you where you want to go in the 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, plus a 2024 Telluride LX, $357 a month. Both $39.99 do it signing and 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9 and peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So when you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, we'll make you happy at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
With Verizon, now everyone can get our best phone deals.
Even if I'm new?
Even if you're new.
What if I've been with Verizon forever?
Oh, yeah. You see, new and existing customers get the amazing iPhone 15 with tons of storage on us. With any iPhone trade, any model, any condition. Guaranteed with unlimited ultimate.
Here's one. What if?
That's a yes. There's a deal out there for everyone. Only at Verizon. $829.99, 128GB only device payment or full retail purchase with new or upgrade smartphone line on unlimited ultimate plan. Minimum $90 a month with auto pay plus taxes and fees for 36 months required. Less $830 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Trade-in terms apply.
They're taking care of business in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called God Hopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. And once again, our Greg Gaston and Eli Support.
Welcome back, everybody. Final segment here on Sports 56 Mornings. We're back tomorrow starting at 7 a.m. to wrap up the week. Of course, if you missed any of our interviews, you can always check out the podcast, Sports 56 Mornings, or any of our shows. Go to the website, sportsmemphis.com. We break it down hourly. We do put specific interviews on featured audio. So guys like Brent Rooker, who joined us from the Oakland A's, or Mike Norvell, the former Memphis Tiger, current Florida State football coach. You can listen to them. Just go to featured audio on the website, but you can listen to our podcast. Check out the interviews we did earlier today with Josh Love from the Memphis Showboats, Kerry Miller from Bleacher Report, and Brian Moss from Rivals. Hitman Hoops is tweeting out that Memphis is involved with Arkansas transfer 6'10 forward Trevon Brazile, per multiple sources. Nebraska, St. John's, others are involved. Was also told he's setting up a visit to St. John's, of course, Rick Pitino's team, with Nebraska having the highest bid currently. Brazile averaged 8.6 points, 5.9 rebounds, 1.2 blocks, 35% shooting from three-point land, 25.7 minutes per game last season. He's a guy you and I have both brought up over the last few days.
Yep, I like him a lot. He would be a nice addition, and will be a nice addition for whoever it is. It certainly needs to stay healthy this year, but yeah, he's a good player.
I like him a lot. I like the size as well. I've been saying they need another big. He's got a lot of talent and can score the ball, whereas a guy like Moussa Cisse is not really an offensive threat. Dane Danger is, but you get another big. I think it makes it more formidable on the front line. So we'll see what happens. But there's no question about it that Penny is back to work diligently, trying to figure out what he wants to do, how he can replace losing a scorer like David Jones at 22 points per game. But not only that, he averaged nearly 8 rebounds per game. So that's a big loss for Memphis.
I got a text from Reggie on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line. Why is Kentucky and now Arkansas always the front runner, or seemingly has the inside track to get the opportunity for all the best available players? Is it that Cal contact all of them, whether they want them or not, to just get the first look? Seems like every good player that gets to the portal or drop out of the draft, first stop is Coach Cal. Why is it Penny, who's supposed to be one of the best recruiters in the country, seem to get in the conversation with the best players late, sometimes too late? It seems that Cal always gets the right of first refusal. I don't get it. Well, first of all, Cal's good. Cal's a really good recruiter. And Cal
they
also
have more resources.
Cal also now, especially at Arkansas, but then he had it at Kentucky too. But like, they've got a lot of NIL money, and it's prominent. At Kentucky, it's one of the most prominent programs there is in America. So people like to want to go there if they have that opportunity. So yeah, I mean, he's really good at keeping his name out there for everybody. Yeah, there's probably some that he or the third or fourth option if it got to that, and he doesn't really plan on taking. But Cal keeps his name out there, keeps himself in the conversation, and now he's got a ton of resources in order to do that. So these guys are all going to be willing to talk to Cal to see, like, okay, what do you have for me? Because I know there's millions of dollars in that NIL pot there.
There's like 40 dudes in the NBA that he coached at Kentucky. He produces NBA guys. Now, Memphis has some. No question about it. So Penny is going to be in on a lot of the players. And even now with the resources that you have through FedEx, even more so. But you're talking about more resources. You think Kentucky had resources? Arkansas, the kind of money that they have, it's probably going to dwarf what FedEx has given Memphis with those businesses out. Are you kidding me? Calipari, as you said, has been at the game a long time. He knows exactly what buttons to push. He doesn't get them all, but he gets a lot of them. They feel real comfortable playing with the guy. Again, it's a little harder challenge for Penny, but Penny is going to be in on a lot of these guys. He was in the past. He will be now because of the help of Fred and whatever else the money they brought into the collectives for basketball. So, yeah, it seems that way because I think it is that way. That it seems like Kentucky, Arkansas, and the combinations with John Calipari are right there with all the big names.
And he says Cal can't pay them all. No, he can't. But I mean, still. But if you're one of these players, it's just like when you're a free agent in professional sports, and you know that the team's meeting with 10 other free agents. Well, you know, obviously they're not going to sign all of you, but you go meet because you want to see what their offer is. So if you've got Coach Cal and you know they got a bunch of money out there, you're going to listen like, okay, like let's see what Arkansas has for me. And you may be able to get more money elsewhere. You might find a better situation elsewhere. But from the player's perspective, it doesn't hurt to at least listen to Coach Cal and see what he might have for you.
Not at all. But it's also, again, a guy whose track record is impeccable of getting these guys in the NBA.
Well, that's so overblown.
Oh, it might be overblown.
He recruits NBA players that were going to go to the NBA anyway.
It might be overblown. And I certainly agree with criticism of his coaching at times. He's changing his philosophy again. He just talked about this yesterday at the SEC meetings. But there's no denying that these players want to play for John Calipari. That's why he's able to get his pick of the litter, because he also has the resources. But Penny is going to do fine. He has done fine. He has placed guys in the NBA as well. Yeah, these guys were already good players. But the bottom line is, you look at any of these rosters in the NBA, and they got Kentucky guys on it. I mean, we're always talking about Kentucky guys. So I think that's part of it. AAC Commissioner Michael Resco retires this week, so it's over. We, of course, known that for a long time, but it finally comes to an official end where Michael Resco, friend of the show, is replaced. And very excited about Tim, who's going to take over as the AAC commissioner. We had Tim on the program, I don't know, several months ago, I guess it was, when the announcement came out that he was going to be the new AAC commissioner. And I think there's a lot of excitement about what he's going to bring to the table, a new vision. He said there will be no stone unturned. So certainly looking forward to seeing Pernetti, right? Can't remember his last name. But Tim doing his thing with the American Conference. But hats off to Michael Resco. I think Mike did a really fine job as the commissioner of the American Conference against all odds. Wasn't easy, I'm sure. Well, that'll do it for us today. I want to thank Josh Love from
Just
the
never could get that
Showboats.
P6 to stay.
Never could get the P6.
It's really unfortunate. I was really rooting for him on that.
Yeah, but
front.
I thought he did a really nice job to make them the best of the group of five. Thanks to Josh Love from the Showboats, Kerry Miller from Bleacher Report, Brian Moss from the TigerSportsReport.com for joining us on the program today. We're back tomorrow again, starting bright and early at 7 a.m. Among our guests tomorrow, of course, John Varlas will join us from the Daily Memphian. We'll have 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and for Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everybody.